Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show.
Listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Tony Basilio live with you on the one, the only. Boy, what a difference a day can make, huh? As we're live with you in your Raymer studio, first thing I want to say is congratulations to Josh Heupel in Tennessee. Well played. Really well played. They had a bunch of us, myself included, on the wrong trail. The name we kept hearing was Ryan Walters, so I don't have to call Ryan Williams anymore. Thank God he's out of the picture. Today we're going to give you total team coverage on the Jim Noles deal. Let's start here. It's not done yet. The Penn State thing is kind of interesting. You know, this is big business now. When Penn State hired Jim Noles away from Ohio State last year, it was one of the huge stories of the offseason. If you'll think back, Penn State had just come off a national semifinal. This was thought to be their way of saying, we are here. We are going for a national championship. We just took a guy away from the national champion. A national championship defensive coordinator at the height of his powers in Jim Noles. Penn State paid the guy $3 million a year guaranteed on a $9 million guaranteed contract. That is unheard of money in the defensive coordinator world where things have gotten expensive. I think what's interesting here is that, and by the way, shout out to John Reed, who late last night in the middle of the night did a video like late last night, because I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and watched what he and another feller did, and those guys are hustling, so good stuff. When you're doing a morning show and then you're doing a late night video, that's some pretty good dedication. Shout out there. That's some crazy maniac stuff there. What's going to be interesting is, how expensive is this going to get for Tennessee to get home with Jim Noles? And as I've told you before, every dollar counts. You know, every dollar in this thing counts. There's not an infinite amount of money in the world. And the less money you spend on your staff, the more money you can spend on your payroll. I mean, it just kind of stands to reason. But we're going to unpack this Noles thing from side to side and back and forth. He's still employed at Penn State, and that's kind of the rub. Now, Matt Campbell's bringing his defensive coordinator with him. Penn State has essentially, it's all semantics, right? But he's still employed there. And I guess from Penn State's perspective, the reason they didn't cut him loose is, why would I cut you loose and pay you $6 million when we know somebody's going to come a-calling on you? And if somebody comes a-calling on you, are they going to pay some buyout money? I mean, that's a pretty little interesting spot we're at right now. So they're working through that. And look, these schools and these athletic departments are going to have to learn to cooperate with each other in the two leagues. Penn State and Tennessee are in the same league, essentially. Because when the Super League happens, they're going to be in the Super League, and we all got to learn to get along. And we're going to borrow and hire coaches from each other down through the years, and we're going to take players off each other's rosters. And, you know, we got to learn to get together and play nice and all those things. But Jim Noles, barring the unforeseen, and I guess you never know, but Jim Noles, barring the unforeseen, is the guy. I'm not saying he's hired yet because, again, it's kind of like when we were talking about the Williams guy. You just, whose name isn't Williams, but Walters. But you You never say uncle till you see uncle until you see, hey, so and so is signed. It's just my nature down through the years of learning how to do this. But well played, Josh Heupel. You have me in the dark, which is good stuff. I own that. We endeavor to give you what we know, as we know it, when we know it, and nobody bats 1,000. But Jim Noles is a terrific hire if Tennessee can get him. Now, it's a nuanced hire, and I'm going to bring Matt Dixon in here without further ado. Matt and Bri are both with us. But it's a nuanced hire because when you do some legwork on Noles, and I did a couple and a half hours worth of legwork on Noles last night, making several calls, which you'll see over at tclub.team, the work that I did on him. And I think I present a pretty balanced picture of a guy that I would call a very loud pop for Tennessee. This is a win the press conference hire, but it might be a take a little step backwards next year hire to take a step forward in subsequent years. The question is, and this is always the question in the sport, is do you have the time to take a little bit of a step backwards? And Matt, what am I talking about when I say a little bit of a when we start talking about tempering expectations? Matt, what am I discussing? As we discussed in our pre-production meeting, would you please unpack that?
Well, there's some first year growing pains with this defense. It's kind of complex. And year one's not, you don't just hit the ground running. But even having said that, you're going to be an upgrade over what you had defensively this year. I mean, you were just awful all around this year. So whatever you have next year, it's not going to be a step backwards. You're probably not going to be a top 25 defense, but even if you're just top 50, that puts you in position to win 8 or 9 games and challenge for the playoffs again. But there is a year one. There's some growing pains with this defense, but after that, he's had elite units everywhere. A proven track record. Was a longtime defensive coordinator under David Cutcliffe, which is kind of interesting.
Yes,
we've talked about how vital Cutcliffe was to Fulmer, and how that Heupel kind of needs a Cutcliffe. And here's a guy that was the DC for Cutcliffe, which is, I think, is interesting. Been at Ohio State, Penn State, left Ohio State after winning the national title because he got sideways with their kind of longtime defensive line coach, who's basically been there, Rodney Garner, for like 20 or 25 years.
That's right.
So they kind of got sideways. I think it was after the Oregon game last year.
Coach Johnson. Yeah,
so one of them was going to have to leave.
Yeah.
And it was easy for Noles to find a spot, but it's a great hire if you can make it outside the box hire, and a proven name and a proven guy that's pretty proven and can be kind of that disciplinarian, and bring any sort of disciplinarian, any sort of real coaching that your defense gets is much needed, because Tennessee couldn't do anything last year.
Tennessee was uncoached on defense last year. Now,
they looked that way. Yes.
Here's a couple of interesting things, and we are going to bring a guy on who's a premier authority on Noles. Steve Hellwagen's going to join us, and Steve is with Ohio State's 247 site Bucknuts. He's been up there for a long, long time. And he's going to give us kind of the good, and then, with all these hires, there's always a little bit of something, but he finds this to be really a coup for the Vols. And I'll let him unpack that for you. A couple of questions now come to mind, which are, okay, so how heavy-handed is this guy in terms of I want to bring my staff with me? Well, the good news is when he went to Ohio State, he didn't bring a bunch of people with him. He just kind of coached with who was there. When he went to Penn State, digging into that, he brought a couple of staffers with him who were what we call, in today's day and age, what's the term we use, Matt, for these guys?
They're analysts.
Analysts. Thank you, Brian. Get that right. So I brought a couple of those guys, but no position coach guy. He just basically coached with what was there. I wonder, Matt, what happens here. Because obviously he probably is going to have some leeway in terms of how this is going to go. The book on him, Matt, is that he's not a real warm, fuzzy guy. He's not a get-to-know players guy. He's sort of a no-nonsense mad scientist in the laboratory guy, Matt. Kind of like Heupel's a mad scientist and laboratory guy, Matt.
Yeah, but the no-nonsense stuff, kind of that disciplinarian, again, from the Cutcliffe tree.
Yeah.
I think that's much needed within Tennessee's program, especially on the defensive side.
Yes.
You have an identity on offense. We can debate, how finesse or physical that is. I think they are a little bit more physical than they get credit for. But on the defensive side, you were extremely soft this past year.
Yes.
You looked uncoached. You just were a very poorly run defense that didn't do a whole lot well. And this guy has a track record of doing it. I mean, yeah, if you want to ignore the Ohio State stuff, I think that's kind of fair because he had 5 stars everywhere. But he had Oklahoma State with a top 3 defense his last year there in 21.
Yes.
And so he's, and he obviously didn't have a bunch of 5 stars there. He probably barely had any 4 stars. And that was back when the Big 12 was still a really good offensive league. So I think it's a great hire if it goes through. Like you said, kind of the contract stuff. The one thing that's interesting with that, James Franklin had that like $50 million buyout that they negotiated it down. I think it wound up being like $9 million for him to go to Virginia Tech. So
yes.
I think, that's something you can probably get worked out over the next couple of days because obviously Matt Campbell has his own kind of unique 3-3-5 stuff that he runs with his longtime defensive coordinator, and it just wasn't a fit there, which, of course, now the Michigan job's open, and Matt Campbell, took Penn State this week, which is interesting.
And by the way, he was waiting
for
that.
Michigan.
Yeah, he was waiting for that Michigan gig for a long time. So who knows what happens there? And maybe we'll get Hellwagen's take on that as well in our B block coming up. But Matt's right. The 1 year at Penn State, when you look at the numbers, and look, I was talking to some people that were saying that their defense was pretty confused at times last year, and they lost some late leads. I mean, we tried to create a pretty balanced picture of what you're going to get here. I think it's a great hire, and I think it's a risk worth taking. The question is our fan base going to be patient next year if we end up going 7-5 because this guy's got all new parts, trying to play a new way against a pretty unforgiving schedule, and Penn State at times got kind of lost in this guy's defense. They just did. And probably they have better material than we're going to have next year, if we're being honest about it. Now, go ahead.
You had Franklin gets fired kind of unexpectedly mid-year.
Yeah, you're right.
The year one stuff is very real. You can look. It's they take a huge jump from year 1 to year 2.
Huge jump.
But Penn State had better material. I'm not quite sure Penn State was as good defensively as people thought. They didn't have depth on their defensive line and had some injuries at linebacker.
Good point.
But you went 8-4 this year with an awful defense. So I know you got to temper expectations, but the 7-5 stuff is, that's like very, very bottom of the barrel, bare minimum what you need to do. But 7-5 and 9-3, the difference in that in today's game is just 3 or 4 plays.
Well, that's right, Matt. And the other thing is the schedule's extremely hard next year. It just is. So we have to face facts.
Yeah, but half your league opponents have a first-year coach, too.
Yeah, but Lane Kiffin's going to bring a hell of a team in here. We know that.
Many of them are going to be changing offenses, so...
again, guys...
that'll be a good chess match.
Guys, let's get real. These first-year coaches, some of them are going to bring... Lane Kiffin's going to bring a hell of a team in here. Come on now. Let's get real.
Yeah, he'll have Sam Levitt, but if he plays at Ole Miss first, he might not make it out of there alive.
Interesting. So, the scheme this guy plays is interesting. You have to think, with the 4-2-5 thing that they do, that he does, how many pieces do we have right now that will fit, which will really help? I'm hearing Arion Carter is going to go ahead and try his luck in the NFL. We'll see what happens, but that was the plan as of yesterday. Just kind of poking around. I think he's going to forgo the bowl game. We'll see what happens. We haven't heard of any opt-outs yet, but Tennessee's going to have my understanding is 2 or 3, maybe 4 guys. And talking to some people, he's been playing with turf toe and 2 feet, so that can't be fun for him, and he wants to get ready and just get on with his life's work, as Chuck Noll once said. So there's a lot of interesting moving parts here. There's very little time to get there. We've got a special guest who joins on the other side. It's Steve Hellwagen. We're going to break this thing down scientifically. We're going to move right to left across your device on a day where we congratulate Braylon Staley becoming the 3rd player in program history to garner SEC Freshman of the Year honors. That is a phenomenal accomplishment for him. Joins Jamal Lewis in 97 and Peyton Manning in 1994. That is nothing to sneeze at.
I guess that's decent company.
I'd say that's pretty good company.
It's all right. That's all right.
I'd say that's I think I would call that kind of all-time great Tennessee royalty company that he's in. But we take a brief time out and come back with more. We're going to unpack what Tennessee is going to see from a guy who's been on the ground at Ohio State for a long, long time, and Steve Hellwagen. We continue with more. On the other side, Jim Noles is now the center of this thing as we continue with more after this. Living Vol fan, make Alumni Hall your one-stop shop for all your Vol fans on your shopping list this holiday season. There's nothing better than getting your favorite Tennessee gear under the tree. Picture it, a nice polo shirt, a new hoodie, something for the man cave. Pop in and see my friends at Alumni Hall. Best selection of Tennessee gear. Alumni Hall, 3 Knoxville locations. Bristol, Johnson City, Murfreesboro, or online at alumnihall.com. It's easy to have a big orange Christmas. And happy holidays from everyone at Alumni Hall. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. Calhoun's invites you to leave the cooking to us all holiday season long. Between now and the end of the year, feast without the fuss when you host at the holidays. Don't you dare cook. Go absolutely next level with this offer. Between now and the first of the year, Calhoun's is offering an incredible deal on delicious turkey or prime rib dinner. You could feed from 5 to 10 people at your home holiday gathering, not lift a finger of preparation. The turkey dinner comes with amazing sides like mashed potatoes, peas, melt-in-your-mouth gravy, dressing to die for, fresh rolls, cranberry sauce, and homemade cheesecake. And the prime rib dinner features amazing melt-in-your-mouth prime rib, fresh mashed potatoes, au jus, green beans, gravy, rolls, horseradish sauce, and delicious fresh baked cheesecake. This amazing offering is available now through the new year. Call to place your order today. More information found at holidayfeedpack.com. Again, that's holidayfeedpack.com. Feast without the fuss this holiday season with Calhoun's, the taste of Tennessee. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage are pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move. It's Gufon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics. We offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gufon.com. That's Gufon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gufon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Holiday cooking? Holiday guests? Your drains will be working overtime. Avoid clogs and backups this holiday season with Pipe Wrench. We'll clear your clogged drain for $99. Guaranteed to work or it's free. With Pipe Wrench Home Services same-day service guarantee, our certified plumbers get there fast and have the tools and expertise to clear the most stubborn clogged drains. And if we can't clear it, you don't pay for it. Have other plumbing or HVAC problems? We make it easy with free on-site estimates on replacements and free second opinions on repairs. So call or schedule your appointment online at pipewrench.com and we'll clear your clogged drain for $99 or it's free. We are committed to keeping your home cozy and worry-free this holiday season. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. For residential main lines only and requires clean-out access. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. As promised, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give a shout out to Crazy Mark in Columbus, who is crazy, and he is in Columbus. But Steve Hellwagen's in Columbus as well, and he's covered Ohio State for a long, long, long time. So he's seen him come, and he's seen him go. and he's with Bucknuts, which is the 247 site up in Columbus. And Steve and I were just talking off the air about just how crazy the sport is now, and the sport is absolutely nuts. So Tennessee, in one sense, last year is playing in a playoff game against Jim Noles, and less than a year later, he's on their radar, and they're about to hire him. And I guess you never say never, Steve Hellwagen, but I welcome you in and wish you the best at this holiday season. Appreciate you doing this for us on short notice.
Yeah, no problem at all. I'm glad to be here. And like we were talking, I mean, I've been doing this for a few decades, 3 decades, and it's just when you think you've seen and heard it all, then something comes out of left field to completely change it. I mean, a guy abandoning a playoff team to go to a conference rival, a neighboring state conference rival. I mean, that's who in their right mind would give up a chance at a national championship, a viable chance, and walk away. And then you have this situation at Michigan and just everything else that's happening. It's just, in one regard, it's sad. And on the other hand, it's like, this is our way of life, I guess. I don't know how the other way to explain it.
Steve Hellwagen joining us. We're all going to go around the horn with him. Matt Dixon's here, Brian Hartman, and yours truly, Tony Basilio, as we look under the hood at the life and times of Jim Noles. As I say that name to you, he's obviously highly regarded. It was one of the great stories of the offseason, one of the huge splashes when he was with Ohio State and leaves for the rival Penn State after winning the national championship last year, and Penn State paid through the nose to get him. If Tennessee's able to get home with Jim Noles, Steve, from your perspective, what are they getting in him?
Well, you're getting an extremely intelligent individual, and I say that they had a guy, Tom Herman, everybody remembers, who left and went to Texas, and a few years ago he was on the Urban Meyer national championship team in 2014 as the offensive coordinator, and they always talked about he was a member of Mensa. I'm surprised that Noles isn't also a member of Mensa, because he's extremely intelligent. He's got a wry sense of humor. He does a really good job as a defensive coordinator. He's a veteran coach, former head coach at his alma mater, Cornell, and that'll tell you right there. He's Cornell educated from Philadelphia originally. And he's done a bang-up job everywhere he's been. I think even this year at Penn State, you really couldn't have a lot of qualms about their defense. It was, their offense didn't generate anything, and that, was just kind of the way it was. But, obviously the quarterback got hurt too. That didn't help. But, he's a guy that, again, he's branded as a defensive guru and expert, and he can come in and change some things around, and things look a lot better on the back end. Once he's got his system in place.
It takes a while, right? It reminds me of that old lyric from a song. It takes a little while to turn the Titanic around, certainly Tim Banks. Tim Banks' defense last year, I mean, we can get a history book out, but against Vanderbilt, it certainly you could probably refer to their defense as the Titanic, because that thing was brutal. So tell me about the learning curve with Noles and why it takes a while. Because when I was digging with my Penn State, I'm from Pennsylvania originally, so I was digging around with some of my Penn State contacts, media folks, etc. And they say that at times the kids there were talking about how it was a confusing defense. It was hard to grasp what he was trying to get across. But they say in year 2 is when he takes off. What is it about? And did that happen at Ohio State as well? Do you find that to be accurate?
Yeah, I think the track record for him, he was head coach at Cornell 2004 to 2009. Then he worked at Duke for a few years. And then Oklahoma State was kind of, his big step up to the bigs, so to speak, I would say. I mean, Duke is, obviously they played for the ACC championship this past year, but they don't have a pedigree of, putting a winning team on the field every year. But what they found at Oklahoma State was it took about 2 to 3 years for it to take hold, for the guys to become veterans within the system, which is rare anymore in college football with people coming and going with the transfer portal and everything. But at that point, maybe it wasn't in the late, 2019s, whatever, that period. But he was the defensive coordinator for the one Oklahoma State team about 5 years ago that played for the Big 12 championship. And so that kind of put him on the map, that they had a Big 12 team that was actually capable of defending people. So they were the one. So he got a lot of credit for that, and that put him on Ryan Day's radar. And Ohio State needed a defensive coordinator. They'd had a guy, Kerry Combs, who, just as we talk about the maddening craziness of today's college football, he was just hired at Michigan from Cincinnati as the special teams coach 3 days ago. And somehow the administration at Michigan, I don't know if they knew this was coming down this week, but allowed him to bring somebody on board and then fired him. So poor Kerry Combs, he's a former Ohio State assistant. I wouldn't say that about most people going to Michigan, but he's a good dude. So I hope everything works out for him. But it didn't work out for him as the DC at Ohio State, so they bring in Noles. And, a lot of it is he put so much on the back end, the secondary. They played a 4-2-5, which everybody seems to be kind of fashioning now. And he put the safety in charge. Essentially the free safety is the guy who's telling everybody, what's happening, what's coming. And I think he called that guy the adjuster. He had names for each of these positions that, he crafted himself. I mean, it's its own culture, if you follow what I'm saying. I mean, he's got his own way of doing it. They had a middle linebacker named Tommy Eichenberg, who was an all Big Ten player about 3 or 4 years ago, and he really embraced it as another leader on this team. He and Larry Johnson, everybody knows that name, the defensive line coach, they didn't really seem to be on the same page with what Jim Noles wanted to do. He wanted to have the fourth defensive lineman kind of be a hybrid linebacker, and that wasn't what Larry Johnson, had taught. He had taught pass rushing. He says he didn't know anything about this position that Noles called the jack. So you're going to hear a lot about the jack in the weeks to come, trust me. But it's interesting, no doubt.
So the jack is like the jack of all trades, the guy that's going to be the hybrid out there. He's going to play linebacker, but he also wants him to rush a passer. We're unpacking.
Yeah, like a 230, 240-pound guy who can, cover in space and do all the other things, but is also instrumental on the pass downs. And he's not above going to four defensive ends either, in a let's say a third and long situation where there is no run threat. He will put, more Russians on the field. But, I'll say this. They were not very good his first year at Ohio State on defense, and I believe that was the year Michigan came in. Now, again, put a star by it. This was one of the years where they had scouted Ohio State in person several times before they played, and there's video evidence that when the signal came in from the Ohio State sideline, the entire Michigan sideline, as C.J. Stroud is going to line up, is telling him, it's a run, it's a run, it's a run, it's a pass, it's a pass, it's a pass. So, that's just, what it was. But, and the same thing was true over on the other side, obviously, when Ohio State signaled in an offensive play or defensive play, they knew what was coming. So, any rate, that made it much more difficult for Noles in Ohio State to defend Michigan in those games. But, Michigan hit probably 6 big plays against Ohio State. It was just a crazy game, and it got much better after that. Now, he and Day did have a falling out after the Oregon game in 2024, middle of last season, and they gave up a bunch of big plays to Dylan Gabriel and his wide receivers, and Day wanted things switched around, to how he wanted it to be. Let's don't, take as many risks and give up as many big plays. And the defense was one of the reasons why they went on that run, as Tennessee fans saw, last year they went on that run and won 4 games by double digits in the playoffs, and the defense really helped do it. So I saw the good and the bad with Noles, and when it's good, it's really good. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I was told that, and I want to bring Matt Dixon in here momentarily. I was told, though, that at times, if you leave this guy to his own devices, he gets a little mad scientist-y with his schemes and some of the crazy things he'll try and do. If you can, is that fair?
No doubt. I mean, in that Michigan game I'm referencing, they had no safety help over the top. Like, they committed everybody to the blitz. So, it was an all-out situation, and it was an easy pitch and catch for Michigan, like a 70-yard touchdown. I mean, one break one tackle and gone, so, and no one's back there to help. I mean, and you're just looking at each other like, what was that we just saw? That in the down, it was, what was crazy was the down and distance. It's like 3rd and 10, and he's doing this, where if you just give him 6 yards, 7 yards, and force a punt and get off the field, you give yourself a chance to win the game. He's pushing all the chips all in the middle of the second quarter, and it just made no sense. It was nonsense is what it was. But, I think Day eventually worked his magic on him and said, let's just concentrate on doing this, and had some reins on him. So if Heupel does the same thing, I think Crazy Mark said as we were talking about this hit, he's like, I don't think Heupel even knows where the defensive meeting room is, but whatever, it's going to be what's going to be.
That sounds like something that would come out of Crazy Mark in Columbus's. We got a new nickname for Mark now. He's Crazy Mark.
You said it, not me. You
said it. You called it. Well, yeah, that's right. I did tell you he was crazy before we were talking, but only in a real and profound way. Is still Steve Hellwagen joining us. So Steve Hellwagen is with the 247 site Bucknuts, and as you heard him say, he's been up there about 3 decades covering Buckeye football, and he's giving us a really, really balanced picture of what we're going to see here if Tennessee can get home with him and Jim Noles. And major college football, as we know, you just never know when we sit down and start talking about contracts. And they're trying to work out the mitigation with Penn State and all that stuff, and they paid him a boatload of money, and he's still under contract there. Matt Dixon, jump in with us. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd just be curious when Knowles' defense, or you kind of mentioned it with Michigan and some of the aggressive stuff, but when teams are having success against his defenses, is there any common themes that happen? Are there any things that maybe he just kind of struggles adjusting to in game, or like when it goes bad for him, which is kind of a relative term for especially for Ohio State? Like what are there common themes that show up?
Michigan was about the only team that really trampled them running the football, and it was a pretty consistent theme. In the 4 games Michigan won here in recent years, they had outrushed Ohio State. And in one of the games up at Ann Arbor, they held the ball almost the entire fourth quarter and had 120 yards rushing in the fourth quarter to put the game away type thing. So that was an anomaly. I would say that ordinarily, if they're going to lose a game with him as defensive coordinator, it's because they gave up 4 or 5 passes of, 30, 40 yards, that type of thing where they've left somebody on an island and they just couldn't handle, the assignment, playing against a good quarterback, taking unnecessary risks. I mean, that Oregon game in 2024, it was awful. I mean, they allowed Dylan Gabriel to do anything he wanted, and I'm sitting in the press box after he's completed 4 or 5 of these long throws, and then this national guy next to me said, the ball was at the 35-yard line. He said, you know what's going to happen now, don't you? I said, no, he's going to run for a touchdown right here. And sure enough, Oregon had kept them off balance, and Gabriel kept it, went around right end, and nobody was there, and he was gone. So, they tried to adapt to something that was going on, and they still didn't cover all their bases. So I think after that moment, he and Day had a come-to-Jesus meeting. And I'll get to the end of their relationship. I mean, they win the national championship, but in the week leading up to the Notre Dame game, he went in and said, I want to negotiate. He was under contract for 2025, and he said, I want to rip that up. I want to raise. I want this. It's like the kid at the snack bar in Caddyshack. I want hot dog, I want a hamburger. No, I want a cheeseburger, I want a Coke. And Ryan Day was like, we will get to that after the game. Just give us the time. And I think Noles felt disrespected and immediately called Penn State, which he's from Philadelphia, and got Franklin on the line because Franklin needed a defensive coordinator. And, Franklin, convinced his bosses to pay the guy $3 million a year. So, didn't take him long. They're having the celebration at Ohio State a week or two after the championship, and there's no Jim Noles. And you're like, what's going on here? And then everybody's phone blows up that he's just been hired at Penn State while the celebration's going on. It was just a crazy, surreal situation.
Wow. That's such modern college football, though, right?
Yes.
You're celebrating a national championship over here, and a guy's kind of worried about his next. I mean, it is such a.
He's under contract too. He had a valid contract for 2025. They had stood by him, and through the thick and thin and everything. And I do believe they would have worked something out. I mean, there may have been personality problems after that Oregon game, but it's not show friends, it's show business. I mean, you ain't getting the job done. Luke Fickell worked at Ohio State forever, and he's like, it's a very evaluation-friendly business. Either you did or you didn't. So, he had delivered the goods. And, the thing that's sad is that, he's not going to be regaled in Ohio State history, as a great whatever, just the messy way he left. But the players now, they brought in Matt Patricia, the former Detroit head coach.
Right.
And everyone's like, got a great relationship with Matt Patricia, and the guy who was here before didn't hardly even talk to me, Well, nobody said that when he was at Ohio State, but now by comparison, his personality doesn't match up to Matt Patricia. I'm like, oh, goodness, this is what it's come to. So, I don't buy into all that stuff. He is a good coach, and he'll do a good job wherever he lands.
Yeah, speak to that, because one of the things I hear about him, because Heupel needs sort of a guy that's not afraid to be a bad cop or not afraid to be a little unpopular. If you can elaborate on that, when you say that's him, elaborate.
That can be him, because he hits these guys with even his favorites. He hits them with the reality right between the eyes if something's not going right. So I think that's something that you honestly you got to have if you want to aspire to be the best. You can't rest on your laurels. Oh, we beat, let's say Illinois this week. Boy, we're headed for big things. No, you got to be able to beat, Michigan and Georgia and all these other teams if you want to be the best. So that was what he was always shooting for. I will say this: in the spring, he did a great job. He would do a defensive player of the day and put out on social media about that. And I think that was a real popular thing, in the run up to the season. He would tell everybody publicly that this guy's going above and beyond. Sometimes he'd be a backup player, sometimes he'd be the star of the defense. But, I think the guys on the defense appreciated that recognition each day that, hey, I had a great practice, and he saw it, and, that type of thing. That was kind of cool, I thought.
Steve Hellwagen joining. We're going to learn to speak Noles here because he piqued my interest earlier. I always love this jargon. Jack is that outside hybrid linebacker, and that's where he got sideways with Coach Johnson, as you're talking about. Larry Johnson's father, by the way, for those of you keeping score at home, who ironically made his bones at Penn State while his father was coaching at Ohio State. But let's go back here. Jack, give me some of the other terms that we're going to hear as we get ready for the Jim Noles era here.
Yeah, you had the adjuster, who I think would be like Caleb Downs, the safety, the All-American safety there on the back end. They had guys previously, like Ronnie Hickman, who's now in the NFL with the Browns, and different, different players back there who would make those calls. They had the Bandit. I haven't committed it all to memory, and he's been gone a year, so I don't have them all down here in front of me. But the adjuster was the big one. That's the guy who, okay, they give him the call, and he reads it and reacts to it, and makes sure that they're in the right defense. And a lot of it is about trusting his players and giving them everything they need to go out there on the field and to stop. And obviously, if he doesn't put them in a bad position, sometimes with some of the calls, then they're going to be successful. They're going to have a high success rate. And again, it may take a year or two to really take hold, but I think the end will justify the means eventually.
Steve Hellwagen, you're what we call a ball knower, as they say in the trade in these parts. You know your football, so if Tennessee's able to get home with him, if you could grade the hire of Jim Noles and how he works in the Southeastern Conference, where this will be the first time he's been a defensive coordinator in the league.
Yeah, I mean, he's got ACC, Big 12, and Big 10 experience, so all he's missing now is, the creme de la creme, the SEC. And, man, what great challenges and great athletes and everything it would be. Obviously, they coached against Tennessee and Texas last year and did pretty well in those games, held them both in the teens. I look at it, he's not going to be a great recruiter. He's not going to be a guy who's going to go out and knock the socks off of high school kids and these kind of things. I called him Admiral Kilbride. People remember from NCIS LA, the LL Cool J show. The Admiral was the tall, bald guy, Gerald McRaney from, longtime actor. And he's almost a dead ringer for Jim Noles. He knows everything. He's the smartest guy in the room. That's Jim Noles. So, that was my name for him, was Admiral Kilbride. So, we'll see if he can earn his stripes in the SEC, where there are no off weeks, as we know. So it'll be fun to watch from afar to see how it takes, and you got to have players. That's the big thing, as we're all finding out. I mean, here's Indiana, terrible forever, and he brings some guys with him from James Madison who are used to winning. I mean, let's look at it. Their quarterback is from Cal. The running back's from Maryland. You buy the right guys, bring the right guys in, and you can win big, tomorrow. So that's going to be part and parcel of whatever coaching hire that you get.
By the way, in the current playoff tournament, which obviously Tennessee's not a participant in, but Ohio State is. Ohio State-Indiana was a hell of a game the other night. Indiana loses their rush end, a great player, maybe the best player on their defense. And now all of a sudden that's going to be a tougher task for them if they're going to get to where they want to go. Your thoughts on their loss, and then I want to ask you about this Michigan deal as well. But let's start with Indiana.
Yeah, Daly, losing him, he's an outstanding player, one of the top players in the Big Ten this past year, defensive end, and doesn't. I guess they've announced he's out for the playoffs. So
terrible.
That's a terrible loss for them. I look at it, their defense locked up Ohio State this past week. They showed Ohio State things that they hadn't seen all season, just disguising coverages and disguising, my goodness, the different pass rush packages they brought. Ohio State's offensive line had given up 6 sacks in 12 games. By the middle of the third quarter, they had given up 5 in this one game. So that'll tell you the job the Indiana defense did on Ohio State, averaging 38 points and only scored 10. So that was pretty ugly. But Indiana's got the quarterback. I think it'll probably be Mendoza to win the Heisman Trophy, although I think Pavia may have a shot as well. Certainly Sands not going to win it. So,
right.
And I can't imagine Jeremiah Love's going to win it either. So, but they deserve it. I mean, they made the plays to win the game. Ohio State certainly did not.
Sharon Moore yesterday told, and it's a sad story when you think of a family man comporting himself in that way with 2 young kids, and then how publicly it plays out. And not only is he fired, but he apparently was getting ready to commit a heinous act, if you believe what you read and what's in the report. But that is a human tragedy, man. That is just bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, you hope for all the people involved that they can find the healing that they need. Even the staff person who was involved.
Awful.
And then it sounds like she went to Michigan and made a complaint eventually, and that kind tripped things in the direction it ended up. And certainly his wife and kids are now thrust into the public spotlight, and just unfortunate the way things have happened. And it would be real easy for me to dump on him, and he's not a favorite, obviously, of Ohio State people. A lot of the things, I mean, he was the interim coach, or the acting coach, I guess, when Harbaugh was suspended in 2023, and he won the game. And first thing he says on Fox is, F something or the other, whatever, you can't effing believe this, or whatever it was. And, not a favorite of Ohio State people, just put it that way. And plus, he was involved in the cheating scandal as well. So,
shocking. It's shocking he would be involved in cheating.
Terrible. Just a terrible situation.
What do you suspect on the way out, Steve Hellwagen? And I really appreciate you taking some time for us. I want to give you a chance to give your coordinates out so people can read what you do and interact with you. But what do you suspect Michigan does on short notice here? I hear a lot of people talking about Lincoln Riley and some other names, and obviously Matt Campbell would have made total sense for them.
Yeah, he's got to be kicking himself. He ended up at Penn State instead of Michigan. My goodness. Yeah. Kalen DeBoer, if Alabama is okay with him walking away, maybe Jed Fish from Washington potentially. Dillingham, the guy out at Arizona State, is put a winner on the field the last couple of years.
Yes.
I think they were the only team that beat Texas Tech this year. So, I see some names out there that are floating up. Biff Poggi is the interim coach for the bowl season here. They're supposed to play Texas on January 1st. So we'll see if they show up for that game. A lot of controversy, but they'll end up with a good coach, but they got to clean house. They got to break with the past and start over, anew. And it may take them a year or two, but as Indiana said, they started at less than ground zero. They had nothing going for them, and here they are 2 years later, number one seed in the playoff. And I used to hold them up as my example. I said there's a lot of schools that invest in college football and can win the national championship. As an example, Indiana doesn't invest in college football. They're never going to win it. That was 10 years ago I said that, and look where we're at today. So if you spend it, they will come, and you got a shot. So, I know Michigan will spend, no question about it.
I really appreciate you taking some time for us today. If you can, give your coordinates out, Steve Hellwagen, and how folks can find you.
Yeah, 24/7 Sports, the best network for recruiting and team coverage, and bucknuts.com.
Yep.
And Twitter at Steve Hellwagen with an E-N on the end there. So, yep, that's where we're at.
Hey, on the way out, this fella that we're talking about here, Jim Noles, he's from Philadelphia, which is where I come from, and it's a town of characters, and it's a town of people that think they know everything. So if he wasn't doing that, he'd probably be a talk show caller to WIP and telling everybody his views and this, that, and the other. Is he a sports fan of other sports like the people are from up there? Because everybody there is just sick with all that stuff.
Yeah, he was a big Phillies guy, I think.
Nice.
One of the reporters was from Philly, and they were in the playoffs, and they were comparing notes about it. So,
nice.
Yeah,
so he bonds. Yeah. He likes the Philly. So maybe I got a shot at cracking in there with him using the Philly angle.
Yeah. You got to wear him down a little bit, but yeah. Wear your Phillies hat. Bring him a cheesesteak.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I really appreciate you taking some time for us. My best to you at the holidays. And listen, I'm not going to judge you because Columbus knows your phone number, okay? But Mark in Columbus is an absolute punk and clown if ever there was one.
No doubt.
Thank you,
my
brother. Good talking to you.
All right, guys. Be good.
Matt, your thoughts on Steve Hellwagen's appearance and just getting the totality of what we're getting into with this guy?
Yeah, pretty balanced. A lot of good information. So, it's there's always a risk in an outside type hire like this where you're kind of doing something different, but it's kind of a risk worth taking. And like we've said before, you can't get any worse than what you were this past year. And if you can get through year one, You have a chance to be a top 25 defense, going forward, and that's really all Heupel needs to be in the playoffs, and potentially even make a deep run in the playoffs. So
here's that's right. So here's what we're going to do. We come back on the other side, because listen, I used the term step backwards earlier. That's not. Matt's right. That's a misnomer. I guess my point is, in year one, if you're expecting the top DC in the world, and I think this guy's very good, he was the top hire of the offseason. And you heard Hellwagen say that things got so bad, which I didn't realize this, but that's why we brought this guy on here. Things got so bad with him and Ryan Day that he didn't even go to the championship celebration. Now, some of you are going to say, well, that's a pretty low-rent thing, but listen. Here's the thing about life. When things get personal, they get personal. And I guess that guy went to him and said, hey, your defense is going to get us beat after the Oregon game, and you're going to do things my way or it's going to be the highway. And for him, it was the highway. After they sat down to renegotiate, and they told him, hey, you're getting paid what you're getting paid, and that's what you're getting paid. And he found somebody to pay him more, and hey, that's the world we live in, and we all know that's the college football world we live in. He's not going to come cheaply to Tennessee. What is Penn State going to expect from us on this side of things, or from him and the buyout? And I mean, they're on the hook if they fire him for whatever. Do they just let him walk away? Do both sides just say, hey, I don't expect any buyout money from you, and you let me walk to Tennessee, and they're going to pay me this, and who knows how it's going to work out. I don't pretend to know any of that. I do know that when things get personal in this deal, they get personal. And I also know that God has proven to me down through the years, God has a sense of humor. I live in halls. That's pretty much God proving his sense of humor. And I love my Hallsites, but they know what I'm talking about, and I know what I'm talking about. But the other thing is that, we have a little coaching move today that proves. Matt, would you say this is proof that God has a sense of humor, the coaching news we're going to talk about on the other side as we get into some phone calls? Would you say this is proof?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. We're not going to give it away. Some of you know. But we're not going to give it away. Give it away now. We're going to take a brief time out and come back, and then we'll get some calls in. We unpack what this could mean for Tennessee if they're able to get home with Jim Noles after this.
It's the hottest postgame show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our Gold Bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine. Live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Hey there, Basilio crew. Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. The holiday season is here, and if your plans include unwrapping your new home, then take advantage of less competition and motivated sellers while others are out fighting over parking spots at the mall. Smart buyers are out snagging deals on great homes, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and as always, go Vols!
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340 WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Okay, so we welcome you, and you back. It is hour 2. We are breaking it down scientifically. We are moving right to left across your device. I'm going to have a guy to talk Philadelphia sports with. Matt, you know me. Am I going to be able to crack this Noles guy? Because I'm pretty damn good at people when I try. Will I be able to crack
zero
that
chance.
Nut? Huh?
Zero chance.
He's going to
No
love
chance.
me. That guy will be eating out of my hand within 90 days. 90 days,
Yeah,
brah.
you do that.
I will take him a throwback Randall Cunningham jersey, one that was gifted to me. I'll walk right over there. I will. What does it take to win your love from me? All right, Matt, let's laugh a little, and then we're going to go to the phones, and we got a set.
He is Andy Bernard approved, though, apparently.
We have a set of 3. Oh, he likes The Office?
Well, he went to Cornell, so.
Oh, bang!
And was their head coach.
Bang! 3 love songs in a row. We've got some great calls coming up. I got a guy we haven't heard from in a while, Grant in Birmingham, who I love. Rod in Clarksville, a mainstay on the show. And then my boy Jordan, who was lower than a pig's belly yesterday, but higher than a kite right now. Let's go back to, before we go to our phones, Brian Hartman, news. Let's go to the news desk here. Make us laugh and make us giggle, Bri, because I want to congratulate the comrade who, thank God, isn't a big Rodney Garner fan, and Rodney Garner isn't a big comrade fan, thank God. But he did like one guy off our defense.
Well, it's really more about who you know.
Who you know.
It is what you know.
Yes.
And Tim Banks has been hired by Auburn to be the safeties coach. As he reunites with Alex Golish.
Matt, what was the safety play under Tim Banks here? What letter grade would you give that?
Did we have safety play under Tim Banks? I don't remember it.
By far, the best safety you had while he was here was a walk-on in Will Brooks. By far.
No offense, but comrade, you got to come to Knoxville. Well, how many plays do you think we attack them in the middle of the field with, Matt, and make smoke come out of the ears of Tim Banks up there in wherever he is?
You're not going to get any smoke. The guy's been emotionless for 5 years here. I'm hammer the Auburn overs all early and often next season.
By the way, Matt said, and I did misspeak when I said take a step backwards. What I mean is, people are going to think, we got Noles, we're going to lock down the world. It's going to take a year. It just is. No matter what you do in the portal, it's going to take a year. So, it just is. We gave you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think this is a great hire if we'll be patient. If you jump the gun and judge next season on next season and make it a referendum and that's what you do, then you're going to overreact and freak out because chances are, based on this guy's track record, it's going to be uneven. You can't go backwards from Tim Banks. It's not possible. When we use the term flatliner around here, Tim Banks is lower than the flat line. He's the new safety coach. And, Matt, I'll bet he's got a handsome salary down there at Auburn. Doesn't recruit. I tell you this. I told you this when Comrade Golish was hired at Auburn. Some of you are really high on him. I'm not. I'm selling that hire. I'm not buying that hire. I'm selling that hire. Matt, I think you told me you were selling that hire too, right? When it happened? I don't think that's the right hire there.
I mean, not really. I think Summerall was their guy, and he was going to go there until Florida opened up, and that's kind of a 180 from that. But with where Auburn's been the past decade, It's a lot where Tennessee kind of was there when Heupel got here. So if you have a fun offense that scores a lot of points, win a game or two a year over somebody that matters, to get things stabilized, that's kind of what their goal is. But I don't see him making the playoffs at Auburn, which is ultimately what they want to be.
But he's a mini Heupel, Matt. He's not a real Heupel. He's a they don't put the points on the board that Heupel was doing at Central Florida.
No, but he's been pretty good at USF. I mean, offense isn't the problem.
Or South Florida.
I think Navy scored 40 on them. I think Navy beat them twice down there. Like he never won the American. But it's a fun, exciting offense, and so that's just kind of what it is. Is it going to make playoffs? Probably not. I mean, maybe he sneaks in there one year if everything kind of falls into place. But I mean, he does keep DJ Durkin, so he at least has a little bit there to work with. But
DJ Durkin's going to turn around and look at that Banks guy and say, "What the hell are you doing?" And it's going to happen pretty damn quickly.
Can't say that.
No offense. God, Matt was getting ready to go there. He says he can't say he's self-adjusted. But maybe we can pull it out of him in the third hour. I self-adjust from time to time. You can't see it, though. Hello and welcome into our first call. You're on the air. Welcome in.
What's up, Tony? Grant in Birmingham. My first thought on Goalish real quick, being down here and kind of following their stuff is I kind of feel like with some of his assistant coach hires, he's kind of following like the Pruitt, kind of like funny, kind of the Pruitt deal of like hiring some, quote, big names. Tim Banks, he was defense coordinator at Tennessee. He hired the Mississippi State defense coordinator who just got fired to be like his defense ends coach. He hired Cody Burns, who, I think Kelsey Pope has done a lot better job than Cody Burns did here. He was fine, but just like he's kind of hired a lot of names, and I don't really know if that going to really translate. I mean, you just have to have a staff of dogs. It's just so competitive in the SEC, and like Tim Banks, maybe. I mean, all of our jokes aside, maybe as just a safeties coach, maybe he can turn around. But like again, our safety play was horrible for 5 years. Really, I mean, it is what it is.
Worst unit. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, like I said, I'm kind of with Matt. I think the combo of Goalish and Durkin, like I do think there's plenty of potential there, but I've been a little surprised at kind of the staff he's put together. That I think I just saw across like this morning too. They hired like to be the running backs coach, Larry Porter, the guy that was the coach at Memphis, and it was a complete debacle there about a decade ago. Again, like a big name, former head coach, but it's like, is he really going to be hungry? Going to come in there and we'll see. But really, I was going to hit a couple things on the DC hire, and Matt kind of stole my thunder a little bit. But like, I think one big thing you got to look at is people are going to be, fixated on it and whatnot about Ohio State and his top 5 defense at Oklahoma State. But like, we don't need a top 5 defense. We need a 20 to 40 defense every year, and it's just hard for me to believe with the track record this guy's had that he cannot come in here and do that and like do it pretty consistently. I just think that, and again, last year we kind of needed, and I don't remember exactly what we were last year, probably 10 to 15. We don't need a true like elite defense, and obviously we got it last year, and we did kind of need it to get to the playoffs. But again, if we can just have some consistent competency on that side of the ball, and then hopefully, Heupel keeps it humming. Hopefully we don't, which again, it's a year-to-year sport, but it seemed to me, the offense made a big step back this year to like what it should be. If you even just, like I said, if you paired this year's offense with a 20th ranked defense, I mean, I don't know how every game goes out exactly, but we're probably a playoff team. So I think that's number one.
Here you go, guys. At Penn State last year, this is first year now. This is going to be bottom of the mark. If he'd have stayed around, they would have gotten better. They averaged 21 points per game giving up. That's 36th in the FBS. You could definitely live with that. They averaged 169 yards rushing numbers, 23rd in the FBS. You could certainly live with that. They averaged 320 yards per game giving up, 36 in the FBS, 9th in the Big Ten. Those are numbers, guys. And Matt, your thoughts on Grant's point. We don't need this guy to be great. We need him to be pretty good. Those are pretty good numbers, actually.
Yeah, you just need to be competent, that kind of middle half of the SEC. If you're top 40, top 50 this year, this upcoming year, and then top 25-ish going forward. With occasionally, maybe you do have a top 10 defense when you can, make an even deeper playoff run than just winning a game or two there. So yeah, you don't need to be some lockdown defense that paired with Heupel's offense. It's going to be really hard to have that elite defense when Heupel's offense is rolling. But if you have top 25 defenses, for 2 or 3 years, I'd gladly take our chances with Heupel's offense to figure it out in at least one of those years. So, you got to score points to win in this sport, even though it is kind of trending a little bit back towards defense a little bit. But yeah.
You like the concept, Grant, is what you're saying.
Yes, I do for sure. And a second thought I had is, and I get we're all emotional. It's easy to say this right now. Who knows where we're going to feel next September if, LSU and Lane come in here and roll a bunch of points on us. But I would hope, and this makes me think that, I know we've got all different opinions on Danny right now, but to me, you don't make this hire if you're not at minimum, you have to at least give 2 years to Noles and Heupel together, barring some 2017 Butch Jones 0-8 SEC season. Like, I don't care if it's bad next year, maybe. And again, I'm not saying I want that. None of us want that, and people will be angry next year if we go 6-6 or 7-5 with a harder schedule. But you don't make this hire, you don't commit to a guy like this if you're not at least going to give him a second year, knowing how the system works, knowing it's complex, knowing you got to get the right safeties in there. And let's be real, that's my final point here in a second. Is it seems a little bit I've seen of it. You got to have safeties that can handle this defense. That's kind of the key to the whole thing. So again, I hope I'm not saying people aren't going to be emotional and mad at times during next season if we lose some games. But I would hope that big picture, we can all keep that in mind. That to me, this is really a play for hopefully 2027, 2028, when you pair this, two, in my opinion, really high level minds on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
Combine that with, I know, and I'm with you on the high school recruiting is not as important as it used to be. You got to pair it together with the portal. But still, let's be real, great class coming in this year, and I think we've had some good pieces in the last couple of classes. So I'm hoping. Again, I understand how people are going to react. But to me, this is real. This is really a play for multiple years, because I don't think we're going to come in next year and immediately have a top 5 defense.
I think it's well put. No, it's well put. And on the way out, when you say safeties, do you mean the adjuster or do you mean the bandit?
I don't know. I know that whatever Caleb Downs is playing, obviously he's a freak, going to be a top 10 pick. But I just mean in general, because I saw something yesterday about a lot of times he's a big 3-high safety, and you switch the coverage. Which poor Tim Banks, we didn't switch coverage one time on a play. And I'm not even a football mind, and I can tell that. It's the most vanilla base defense ever. And I think that's going to be a big change. We can all joke aside, but it's going to be a big change. From all of a sudden, we're gonna have to think, and we're gonna try to make the quarterbacks think. We haven't made a quarterback think. We hadn't made a quarterback think in 5 years, besides when we had James Pierce coming off the edge.
You're one of my hoops guys, man, and I haven't heard from you, which tells me you're worried about our basketball team.
Well, Tony, I was on hold for 30 minutes Saturday night.
Darn it!
I understand after 90 minutes, I think I was about to be the next one, and I had some thoughts, but I'm going to hold. And hey, guess what, Tony? Next Tuesday night, friend of a friend, I think one of our other friends of the program's going to get me in. I'm going to sit down in Danny Land, down in the club level for the Louisville game.
I want to.
So that'll be my first ever. That'll be my first ever experience in one of these Danny Land high dollar spots. So I will call in Wednesday or Thursday next week after the game and give you my thoughts on both what I see in person and Danny Land. So anyway, love the show, Tony.
Jordan Love, thanks. Not Jordan Love, but Jordan Love. And Matt, you think he was talking about the adjuster or the bandit? Matt hates this. Matt hates this that I've got jargon now to talk about. 21 personnel, 22. Zero coverage. Bear.
The pistol was going to be your big off-season talking point this year until Nico left.
The pistol. Let's go back to the phones. I believe this is Rod in Clarksville who's up next with us. And by the way, 865-200-5402 if you want to mix hunt with us on a Thursday where it looks like Jim Noles is the man of the hour. We're shifting focus here.
So
go ahead, Bri.
Penn State defensive back Elliott Washington II is entering the portal. He has 59 career tackles, 2 picks in his career. You think Tennessee should try to recruit him on the fact that his defensive coordinator
I don't know.
for last year is coming south?
What's his PFF grade?
Yeah. And, Brian, was
Yank him up right now. Yank him up. Yank him up.
Was he an adjuster? Let's get our next call in, or a bandit. Hello and welcome.
Maybe he was an enforcer.
I don't think that's
what's his size, Matt?
Yeah, what's his size, Brian? Do you have it, Elliot? Do you have Elliot's size,
no, I don't.
Look it up,
look
Brian,
it up.
and interrupt Brian's
Electric
call
time
with it.
40. Do we have that?
Let's get. Did you say electric? Did you say electric as in Tim Banks? Now that is one thing that
the stopwatch stuff you can get. Not always accurate.
We got the electric 40 now. Go ahead, Rod. I'm sorry.
Boys. The first thing I want to say is Merry Christmas to y'all. Merry Christmas. I haven't talked to y'all since the Vandy game. I haven't, really, been calling because, it kind of broke my heart. But
I don't blame you.
I think at the time when I was watching the Vandy Tennessee game, honestly, I wanted Vandy's defensive coordinator right then.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted him.
It's okay to covet thy neighbor's coordinator, man. It's all right, You're allowed to do that.
I mean, watching that game, I'm like, this guy is killing us. And he's young. We don't got to pay him a whole lot of money. Go get him right now.
So what do you think of this? Good. Do you think this is a good development?
Oh, as far as the drill sergeant, we need the drill sergeant.
Yep.
If he has anything to do with David Cutcliffe and coach with him, this is exactly what we need. Y'all understand that we haven't had that drill sergeant mentality as far as a defensive coordinator since, who? Chavis?
Well, here's the thing, guys. When David Cutcliffe brings you to 2 stops, Matt, you know what that means? You can damn coach. And when you get the David Cutcliffe seal of approval, my understanding is those 2 guys remain in touch with each other. You can coach. Because David Cutcliffe ain't playing around with chopped liver.
I think the guest identified him and saying that he hadn't coached in the SEC yet. That's actually not right.
No, he wasn't a coordinator.
Cutcliffe at Ole Miss.
He wasn't a coordinator in the SEC, is what we said, Brian.
If he's been with David Cutcliffe twice, I don't care if he hasn't coached in the SEC. He's going to be good enough.
That's right.
This man is smart. He knows how to dissect stuff just like Heupel.
But he did coach with
him
at Ole Miss.
And what I'm hoping is our players that we had on our team last year watching, Banks, they look at him and I'm like, dude, I knew this in the 8th grade. At least now we're going to get someone in there that can challenge them, that may pump them up, and they may feel better about themselves by being challenged. And of course, as far as the what y'all call it, what was the name that he gave it? The instigator. What was the name, Brian?
That's me. I'm the instigator. It's the adjuster. The adjuster's the safety. The adjuster.
The enforcer.
The enforcer. You know who his enforcer is this year when he comes?
Enforcer.
If he comes?
Brian's introduced a name. Brian, that's not one of his jargons, Brian, the enforcer. Don't put that out there.
There's still time.
It's either the adjuster, the bandit, or the jack.
Okay. The adjuster for him when he comes here, boys, is polarity. Let's go. Go Vols.
Go! He means the Italian kid, Matt. Not Pilardi. But Rod can't say the Italian names. Let's go back to the phones.
The kid at Penn State is a cornerback. He's 5'11", 199, so maybe...
I don't want him.
I was hoping he'd be a safety.
I don't want him.
I
want their adjuster. Let's get Jordan in here, who's next with us on the one, the only. It's your Basilio show. No, this isn't Jordan. This is my man in Dallas. Welcome in, Dallas.
Tony, Madison in Texas. Good to talk to you guys.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, guys, I called on Tuesday and, was talking a little bit about the Walters hire.
Yep.
And I got to say, I could not be any happier with this hire. To me, of the available coordinators, this is the best possible hire that you can make. Now, this is just one guy's opinion. Every coordinator hire is going to be a gamble. Yes. But if Walters was a gamble, a straight bet with juice, this is a VIP odds boost promo code Tony. Amazing hire.
I kind of agree with that. Now, like Matt said, with any of these hires, there's always risk. Kind of fit is he? How's he going to fit with the staff? Is he going to play nice? All that. But the football stuff, if we're patient with him, there's no question he's going to be very good because that's his track record. And he does have a track record.
He does. And, I mean, his resume speaks for himself, Tony. To me, this is a big pecker hire, and I think that's what we needed.
Yes.
What I really look at is, you kind of got two of the mad scientist guys on both the offensive and defensive sides of the ball, guys that are going to give you a game planning advantage. And I think, that still matters here in college football. I know it's all about money and talent. Look at what Indiana's doing. Okay. Clearly coaching still matters. And, one of the knock-on benefits I'm looking for is we all saw the Ohio State game in the playoff. I mean, they put Heupel in a box like I've never seen before. What they do is a lot of three high safety, and really, Noles is one of the first guys to make three high safety a base look for his defense. That's what's been giving Heupel trouble for the last three years. Now, we did make some progress in attacking that and making teams get out of that last year, but I got to imagine that there's a lot of mutual respect between Heupel and Noles. And I was reading an article when he came into Penn State. Now, I know obviously that didn't work out too well. That was a Franklin problem. But they were really looking at, okay, what is your honest assessment of our offense? How can our offense get better based on what you're seeing, Jim, from a defensive game planning standpoint? Tony, I think that, I know some people wish it was Walters. I don't understand that at all. This is a huge upgrade, big pecker hire. And I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what happens. Give the guy a little time, but we're going to have a better defense next year. I hate to break it to everybody who's being negative, Nancy. The defense will be better. So look forward to that.
Thank you, my man. Good talking to you. And I listen. Go ahead, Brian.
If an offense has a chance to practice against a defense that gives it trouble, it's eventually going to figure out and become better as a result, I think.
Matt, what about that? It's a really good point Madison brings up. I mean, three excellent callers in a row there. And he calls this sort of a rather large package hire, which I've been accused of in the past. Matt, do you have a sense that this guy could help Heupel sharpen his game while they're doing what they're doing?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you should always be bouncing ideas off of each other in staff meetings, and you're not out on the road recruiting as much anymore. And then in the off season, bounce ideas off each other, and yeah, I think Noles can be helpful in that regard with Heupel. So yeah, you can always, as long as you have a coach that continues to kind of evolve and tinker things and is willing to change and adapt to the sport. That's the only way to be successful. I do think, we've talked about how much parity there is in the sport and how there's the talent so spread out. I think assistant coaches and coordinators might matter more now than ever before because the margins are so small that a lot of these games come down to just 2 or 3 plays where you've got to have a guy in position or you have the right play called or you scheme something up. There's just so little margin for error that I think assistant coaches and coordinator hires might mean more now than ever before because you can't just out talent somebody like you used to be able to.
Back to the phones we go, and that's why Tim Banks being a safeties coach in this league, it's like putting something between your cheek and gum and give you that full tobacco pleasure. Let's, without further ado, go back to our phones now. I don't know who the calls are because I haven't had a chance to screen these. So we're back to where we were, which is I don't know anybody's name. So let's get our next call in. As you heard, if you missed hour 1, we did a real unpacked job of a guy named Steve Hellwagen, who's very, very good. He's with the 247 site, Bucknuts, up there in Ohio State country. And, he gave us a very balanced view. He thinks this is a very good hire. He thinks it's, he said that these guys got sideways with each other. Speaking of Ryan Day and the Philly boy, Jim Noles, and he thinks Tennessee can get this thing done. He thinks it's going to be a very, very good hire for Tennessee, but it's going to take time. So I appreciate the balanced look, and I do want to shout out Columbus, who made that possible. He's one of Columbus's contacts up there, and as Columbus proved to us last year during the playoff game, he kind of knows from whence he speaks. But let's go ahead without further ado, and we'll get our next call in. Hi, welcome in. You are on your Tony Basilio show on a, what is it? It's a Thursday, and we're halfway home. Hi, welcome in.
Hey, Tone, look at you being nice to me.
Oh boy, my timing is impeccable from time to time, man.
Look at you being nice to me. Yeah, I actually got to listen to the interview. He's a really good guy.
Really good. Sounds like a great guy. Yep.
So, okay, on the surface.
Hang on a second here. Hey, Matt, do you think Columbus is going to be positive or negative on this hire, Matt, before Columbus begins?
A little bit of both.
All right. Go ahead, Columbus.
On the surface, this is a huge name, and it's a what the guy called it in the Call It For Me hire. And look, the guy's a well-regarded coach. He's a national championship defensive coordinator. And, he's going to be a new voice in the building, like you guys just talked about. But if you dig a little deeper, there are red flags here. And I'm not a bad guy for saying that. I know you have certain people probably in the stream right now who are MFing me up and down because I'm not gung-ho on this. But a reminder that these same people were delusional about Joey Aguilar, were delusional about the football team this year, were delusional about Tony Vitello, and were delusional about what happened in the playoff game last year. All that being said, look, it's going to take 2 years. Does Josh Heupel have 2 years? And that's not personal towards Josh. Does any coach have 2 years in this climate, other than Signetti? You got to make the playoff or you're dead, no matter where you're at. But
Matt, predict our fan behavior, because you and Jordan made a really good point about this. We don't need the guy to light the world on fire, but we don't need the guy to get lit on fire either, right? So it's kind of a two-way street, and I don't think the guy's going to get lit on fire unless we just can't find players in the portal, Matt, because we do have to find players. I don't think right now, and I'm not trying to be funny with you, Matt, but I don't think right now on our roster, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm proven wrong, but I don't think we have our adjuster, and I don't think we have our bandit on the roster. And Matt, do we have our jack on the roster? Do we have a jack on the roster, that hybrid?
Yeah, I think our Leos might be our best position on defense.
Okay.
He's recruited really well there.
So that's good.
We have a jack of all trades.
So we have our jack, but we do absolutely have to get that adjuster, yes?
Yeah, they'll have somebody. Yeah, they'll have a safety that plays deep, yes. They'll have somebody. I don't know how good they'll be. But again,
Tony,
Noles, even on his worst years in these year ones, is still better than what Banks was 4 out of his 5 years here.
Look,
so you're upgrading significantly.
It's a total upgrade. You just gave up 45 points in your building to Vandy, and it could have been 60.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an upgrade. There's no doubt about that. But guys, remember, Caleb Downs doesn't grow on trees. That guy's like a top 5 pick of the draft at the safety position, and safeties don't go in the top 5.
Yep.
He's a unicorn. But my only thing with him is, not my only thing, I have a lot of things, but my main thing with him is, I don't think he brings a lot of juice to your building. I don't think he brings a lot of energy, and I think that's what this program and most specifically this defensive staff needs. I would have rather gone with a young guy, energetic guy that eats, sleeps, breathes football. And I'm not sure Noles is that. He's 60 years old. Is he just collecting a check? I don't know. And trust me, I hope it works. I'm not rooting against it. Of course I want it to work. But I'm trying to give people back to reality here a little bit, that this is no guarantee. There are red flags all over the place with this thing.
Now, I a couple people in the chat are holding you accountable here, Mark, and I just want to share this with you as I thank you for helping us.
Oh, please do.
Well, Negative. Colombo was pretty delusional about Nico a year ago, so he can talk about delusions. He knows delusions when he hears them.
Okay. Did I get to see Nico in the second year of an offense? Yeah. Nico wasn't great at UCLA. Who would have been? He got sacked like 700,000 times. Whatever. I've already said, yeah, he was a bust here. Got it.
Well, I mean, they're just over here. If we're all going, of course, I missed on this hire. I didn't know they were involved with this guy. So everybody has a bad day. But let's go back to what he said, Matt, which is he wanted kind of an energy guy and a change the culture guy. Matt, in your mind, is that important here? Is that worth discussing?
Yes, certainly. There's a lot of different ways Heupel could approach this. I mean, the job was just so much more attractive than when he took over, and he didn't really have much say in the hire to begin with.
Yes.
So he just needed to figure out what's the best complementary defensive philosophy or scheme with his offense, and then try to go find that guy, or just go out and get the best guy available and try to fix it and try to make it work kind of on the fly. And that's probably more the approach he took. But if he wanted to go the young up and comer with some energy, I think you could easily make the case for that.
I do believe, Mark, that Heupel was kind of floored last year with some of the stuff Ohio State was doing with him, because that's why you saw Nico run the way they did. Literally, it was the only thing they could do. Now, they didn't have Sampson available to them, which we all know, and the offense wasn't great to begin with, but I think Heupel was pretty intrigued with how bottled up Jim Noles had him last year, obviously with great talent. I mean, there's no doubt about that. So, yeah.
Look, he is not – this is not going to be a guy that has personal relationships with these players. He's not bringing anybody from Penn State. He's not bringing any coaches from Penn State.
Yeah, I was told that.
That's not happening. Anybody that thinks they're going to raid the portal and get Penn State's defensive players, they're not coming with Jim Noles. Nobody from Ohio State went to Penn State, except two low staffers.
That's right.
He doesn't have personal relationships with people, and that's fine. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And, as Steve said, they never said any of this stuff while he was there, but they MF'd him on the way out the door. Okay, I get it. But, it's not a situation where he's going to connect with players. He's there to cook up defenses, and that's what he's going to do. That's going to be it. And it's a huge, look, when he got hired by Penn State, it was the story of the offseason. It's the terms of assistant coach hires. It made huge waves. Wow. They yanked Ohio State's defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And so he's got the pedigree, all that. I wish we were getting him 6 years ago. If you told me he was coming in with Heupel, oh my God, I'd be over the moon.
That would be incredible.
I don't know if you have 2 or 3 years to let this take hold. I don't know if he has that. Is this fan base going to be patient enough? If you're not in the playoffs, you don't matter. I'm sorry. The people listening to the show, you're going to watch the Music City Bowl, but nobody cares about that game. No one.
Well, you just said the people listening, obviously if the people listening are watching the game, and we'll have thousands and thousands of people on Garza Law Fifth Quarter Fan Reaction, and I'm thinking about going down and doing the show live down there in Nashville somewhere. Obviously, somebody's going to be listening. What are you talking about?
But Tony, it does. The game makes no difference on a national level. You're not making any way. Nobody's going to care about the result of that game with half either team in the portal. It's the playoff or bust in this era of college football.
You know what kids care about, Mark, in the portal? This is what you do. You're going way. I mean, you're going a mile a minute. Kids care about the money you're going to pay them and the opportunity they have.
Yeah.
Has this guy proven?
Let's get our money right. Get some headhunters in there. I want skull thumpers on that defense.
Has this guy proven that he
can do it?
That he can put guys in the NFL? Has he proven that?
Yeah.
Okay, well then it's a good hire.
But he go get some skull thumpers on that defense. No doubt. Talent trumps all. I don't care what scheme you're running. You got to have dudes.
Colombo, thanks for getting that guest. Your call not so much, but getting the guest, you get a lot of credit.
All right, brother.
Thanks, bro. 8652. Is that a good way of putting it, Matt? I mean, the call, so. The guest was very good, though. I'm giving the guest 2 thumbs up. He's a 90. He had a good beat, and I could dance to him. Columbo's call, as we say
There's always questions about even good hires.
Sure.
And Mark
this guy's
is
a great
not afraid to ask those type of questions.
That's
so
fine.
I respect that.
But Columbo's call, 6-7, 6-7, 6-7, 6-7, 6-7, 6-7, 6-7. We come back on the other side. If they can get home with Noles, it's a huge credibility hire. It's a great hire. In terms of who you bring from Penn State or don't, look, the NIL's got to do its work. The coaches and hopefully they've talked some people into the portal already, and we don't have to go there. And then the question becomes, and Matt, I want your thoughts on this. I hear the term war chest being thrown around, which means they're going to go get a quarterback, an impact quarterback that can play. And I want to know if any names pop out to you. We take a brief time out and come back with more and get some more calls in after this. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contracting. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
The season of giving reminds us of what truly matters, community and connection. Hi there, Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. As the year closes, I wanted to take a moment to sincerely thank you, my Basilio family clients. Thank you for trusting me with your most important decisions. Whether it was finding your first home or successfully closing a chapter, your trust means everything. I look forward to new and continued relationships through the new year, and feel free to reach out to me at 865-694-5904 or nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and of course, go Vols!
Basilio here with my buddy, Connexial Kristen.
Hey Tony, good to see ya. Connexial builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the #1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Connexial.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Connexial, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Tennessee just announced the word, the Noles thing is official. That's great stuff. And as I said yesterday, today I got swerved on that deal, which I'm not alone. There were people, obviously, there was all kinds of chatter in the media about the guy at Washington. But it is what it is, and it is what it is. So this is a great day. I believe now that it's official, I believe it's a great step forward. We've been unpacking it all day. And we go to the phones at 865-200-5402. Now that it's official, look, I'm with Matt. Anytime you make a hire like this, it's risky. Anytime you bring a guy in that we know is a little bit on the polarizing side, it's risky. I love the fact that Josh Heupel is pulling himself out of his comfort zone and getting involved with a guy that we know and he knows got sideways with his head coach at Ohio State. And a guy that's going to be pushbacky a little bit. I like that, Matt. I think that's a positive development.
We talked about that's what the program needs.
Yes, I love it. This is a jolt. Now that it's official, this is a jolt of juice.
Yeah, he didn't hire a buddy.
That's right.
He didn't hire a yes man. He went out and got out of his comfort zone to make a risky hire. I think nobody gives him credit for that, but that's what everyone was calling for when Tim Banks got fired.
And then the other thing is that when I think about this, and then we go back to our phones, and we will do some overtime, although I do have an appointment today. I've got a doctor's appointment I got to get to. But so I'm only going to be able to do a half hour or so because I got to get across town. This deal here is either going to be boom or bust. That's the era we're in, though. I think it's a risk worth taking, though. But the whole sport is now boom or bust. I mean, if you think about it, 1 year ago, this Noles guy was the defensive coordinator on a team that might be the best college football team we've ever seen. Yinzers. That was crazy last year. And obviously tied us in knots in the playoff game. I think it's interesting, Matt, that our fan base is divided over it. I would have thought there would be almost a near unanimous people loving the hire. But that just doesn't seem to be the case.
That's never going to happen.
Yeah.
People are going to find a way to bitch and moan about anything they want to. Like, your fan base is never going to be unanimous over any of this stuff.
That would have been the same if Walters had been hired.
Any fan base. Yeah. It is interesting, though. I like it. Back to the phones we go. 865-200-5402. We get as many people in as humanly possible. Dave Portnoy says the following: anybody saying Michigan had proof about the inappropriate relationship and hid it until yesterday, please DM me your address so I can add you to our class action lawsuit I'll be filing for slandering the Michigan man trademark. I'll see you in court, suckers. You talk about a guy that is
playing the bit,
is bored with himself. But let's go back.
Playing the bit well.
Let's go back to our phones. Our unsponsored phones. Hi, you're on the air. Welcome in.
Yeah, you got to definitely give Portnoy credit. He's committed to the bid.
Committed, Joshy boy. He's committed.
Yep.
Under wings.
Frank the Tank is committed to the bit.
Yep, he's in shambles after Pete Alonso went to the Orioles.
Go!
Yep. So, yeah, I'm kind of with Colombo. I'm going to give Noles the benefit of the doubt and hope it works out, but I didn't want an older guy. I wanted Walters, but I'm going to give Noles the benefit of the doubt because we saw what he did at Oklahoma State, Penn State, Ohio State. He had really good defenses. Let's hope, like Colombo said, that our fans give him time because it's at least going to take 2 years for him to get his players in and put in.
Well, and he's seen everything. He's been in every major Power 4 conference. He's coached in it, so there's nothing that's going to trick him that he's never seen before.
You still got to have a competent defense in year one, which I think you're going to. I mean, you're not going to be terrible. And yeah, you can take off in year two and going forward, but you've got to still put a competitive defense out there next year, which I have no doubt he's going to, just given his track record. But you've got to attack this portal. He's got to evaluate the roster and see what Tennessee has, what players fit, what he wants to do, and then go out and find some guys who can fill all the many needs we have on that side of the ball.
But with his first year in, guys, does the tough schedule worry you any next year?
What was that?
The tough schedule, does it worry you?
In his first
with
season
his
in DC.
I mean, yeah. You're playing 9 league games. That's going to be pretty tough for everybody in the league, not just Tennessee. But I think half your league schedule will have a first year head coach also. So, and it'll be their first time in those spots. So, you just got to trust that it works out. The guy's obviously a really knowledgeable coach. You just hope that he fits in with the rest of the staff and you can find some players. That's obviously the key. We just don't have, upper that high end SEC talent on defense. We just haven't had that, and definitely haven't had it production wise.
That was on my list. One of the things Josh Heupel needed to do, fire Banks and hire DC. My other thing is I want him to demote Halsley and promote Luttrell. Do you guys think that's a decent chance of happening, of him promoting Luttrell to OC?
This hasn't been his track record, so
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what that,
because you need a back top.
Yeah, I don't know what that. Well, I mean, that's a good point. And the Halsey guy, I do know was trying to get the Florida gig. We do know that.
Right.
So we can get back to talking about the bowl game now, Joshy boy. I'm fired up now, man. Music City time.
I am fired up for the bowl game. I always watch all the bowl games, like I told you before, because I'm a degenerate and I love football.
Yep. Thank you.
I'm not going to let someone rain on my parade saying bowl games don't matter.
Yes.
Well, apparently the LA Bowl is going to be no more after Saturday. Brett McMurphy reports.
The LA Bowl. We are going to miss it.
Which started in 2020.
We are going to miss it.
Yeah.
We never knew you.
Guys, on the way out, I'm going to leave you with this. So we lost Banks and we gained Noles. Tony, I don't know if you've seen the post from yesterday, but someone put out a post yesterday saying Jim Noles kind of looks like Bear from Fan Run.
He does look like the Bear. Have you thought about that, Matt? We could do...
Now is that might be a negative here.
We could do it. No, the Bear's a good-looking man. We could do... Some would say sexy. We could do a Jim Noles lookalike contest on the air. Have Noles down at Calhoun's, because we're going to be down there doing it from pillar to post next year during the football season. All day long, all day strong here. And we could have Noles come down there and stand right next to the Bear and say, this is a winner. And by the way, this guy does the afternoon show. And by the way...
You think Noles hates like Thanksgiving and Christmas too?
And by the way, I'm from Philadelphia. Now, don't be taking shots at the Bear. He's a mainstay, bro.
Well, I hear that Chumley and Frank the Tank are going to... Never mind.
Chumley? I think this is a great day for Tennessee. And, again, I shout out the great John Reed, as I did earlier, who did like a video at like 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, when's this guy sleep? He's up doing a morning show. I mean, gall. That's insane. And I like insanity. I mean, last year after the playoff game, Matt, what time do you think we went off the air after the playoff game? It was after like 5 a.m., wasn't it? It was something crazy, right?
Oh, yeah, it was like 4:30 or 5.
I mean, like we've been known to get kind of nuts with it when the time comes. Great.
I can't get over Dixie laughing at Polly Joe's misfortune about the gorilla suit last year.
I said it's great. Dude,
luckily, you didn't have to worry about that this year because Notre Dame took their gorilla suit and went home.
They're not even playing in a playoff game. In fact, if you read the rumors, Matt, what happens if some of those reports that are out there, and you just don't know what to believe anymore, but Marcus Freeman might be on the radar of the New York Giants. Surely he wouldn't be crazy enough to do that, would he?
I wouldn't think so because he's got a pretty good setup there in South Bend right now. And they have that clause where if they're just ranked in the top 12 next year, they're automatically in. But, I mean, he could just be tired of the whole college deal. I mean, and portal and all that stuff. That's very real, not just in football, but just, basketball and baseball too.
It's not But you do sort of have Tony Vols to San Francisco in the major leagues kind of vibes to that.
Hey, well, no, college coaches get hired all the time these days, guys. But we're going to do some overtime. I'm going to kick it over to my guy, the playbook, William Pattison, another hustler in the sport who's not afraid to get after it. He's a grinder. We got some grinders here. Dubsy, I'm going to be on with Dubsy later on this afternoon. Let's see. I'm jumping on with Dubsy at 5:20 Eastern time. For those of you in the mood and can't get enough of My Love Baby. But I'll be on with Dubsy in Baskerville, and also the aforementioned fake Jim Noles. Can I call him fake Noles today? Not to be confused.
Congratulate him on the new deal.
With some of the fake Beyoncés out there, he's a fake Knowles of another kind. We got Beyonce Knowles. Or no, her name's not Knowles anymore. She's a Carter. By the way, have you guys seen this Diddy thing that's going, the documentary over there on Netflix? Ghoul. You talk about a bad dude. Ghoul. That is disturbing. My man William Pattison's not, though. He's next level. And he's got you now, ladies and gentlemen. We'll continue to talk about it here in our Overdrive Overtime.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
I mean to tell you, have you guys seen have either one of you seen any episodes of that thing on Netflix on this Diddy guy? You talk about a dark-hearted, really messed up, demented human being. And Curtis 50 Cent Jackson and his people are sparing. They are going for it in telling that story. Matt, are you surprised the Vols are going to go big on quarterback or attempt to? Because I think there's going to be a crowded market of teams that are looking for quarterbacks. But are you surprised, Matt, the Vols are going for more than a backstop or a what's the word I'm looking for? A stopgap.
A 1-year rental.
Yes.
A little bit. But I don't know the inner workings of their quarterback room. It sounds like that's kind of been the plan all along. And, Faison Brandon knew that when he signed, and McIntyre's obviously was a developmental kid, even though he was really highly rated. So it's a little surprising, but I mean, you've got to have a quarterback to compete. And, we've talked about it. You can't have bad years, where you're, 6-6 or worse. So you've got to, the 8-4 has kind of got to be the floor going forward with Heupel, which is still really good compared to where Tennessee's been. But it's a little surprising. But again, you've got a bunch of needs on your team, not just at quarterback, and you've got to fill some of these defensively as well. But depending on how big their budget is, it's not surprising that they go get. You've got to get a proven guy that's at least done it at this level before.
Or you could get a guy like the kid from Old Dominion and hope he fits your offense. If you can do and find a guy that fits your offense that's played down but been very successful and is very seasoned, you could do that as well.
Yeah, a guy's proven at the college game. Yeah, it doesn't have to be. Whatever. Yeah,
well put.
Wednesday, you've got South Florida and Gas Pipe versus Old Dominion and that quarterback.
That's right.
In the Cure Bowl.
Because the Gas Piper is going to get the start before he starts his coaching career. And, of course, who is the Gas Pipe, Bri?
That would be Gaston Moore.
Let's go. Not to be confused with Patty Gas Pipe Gasso.
Is the Old Dominion quarterback playing in that game, or is he opting out to go to the portal?
Haven't seen him. Matt, isn't that
I guess he can probably play in it since the portal doesn't open until January.
If I were him, I'd play and boost my stock.
Yeah, you can showcase yourself.
Yeah, especially against that defense. But, all right, so this is fun. We're going to get as few calls in. Like I was telling you before, I got to get to the doctor. The doctor. Mr. MD. Doctor. Just a checkup. And I need a checkup for my neck up. And,
you need an adjuster, Tone.
Now you're saying. adjuster. And what's the other one? What's the outside end called, Matt?
The jack.
The jack. Yep. When I walk over and see that Noles guy and I bring him a Casapola sub when I come back from Pennsylvania, it's going to be on. He's going to be appearing on the show. And people are going to be going, how did he do it? The Basilio charm offensive. I'm pretty good when I get at it. But we'll go ahead and go to our phones. I'm pretty excited. Sugarknot already sang over here on YouTube. 8-4 is the floor. Not a serious program if that's the case. Yeah, okay, dude. Whatever you say. Vols aren't serious. They're paying a guy $2.5 million, $2.3 to $2.5 million to come in and be a defensive coordinator, while they're going to put about $35 to $40 million in their payroll. Sure, man, but I'm glad you're commenting on YouTube. Know what I mean, Matt? Not that I'm short of, not that I want to speak down to anybody, but well, what do you mean serious? I mean, this whole damn league is serious. I mean, what do you mean serious? Your record, I mean, you're not going to win every game. And we're telling you, next year you're going to take some lumps. And if the team's 8-4, they're still serious. The whole thing just, I don't know. This is the time of the show where Laura comes downstairs and says, get off the air. By the way, my Flyers are back in action tonight. They got the Golden Knights of Vegas. Carter Hart returns back to Philadelphia. I'm fired up, focused, and prepared for that. Brian, is there any footy on tonight? Football.
Well, I was going to ask, do you have an MLS game to look at too? So
no, the cup has been won. Messi hoisted the trophy.
So who won it? Miami, I guess?
Which made me sick at my stomach. They beat the White Cat.
Oh, cool. Okay. I didn't even realize that.
How about the NFL tonight? What's our NFL game, Bri? You're wasting time.
Messi was going to retire like 20 years ago, I thought.
Bri, what's our NFL game? You're wasting time. What's our NFL game?
It's the Tampa Bay is hosting the Atlanta Falcons.
Who is it with the Falcons?
Tampa Bay is hosting the Atlanta Falcons.
Matt, how much of that do you plan on watching with Cutie Pie Herbie on the call?
Not any of it, I don't think.
What is the number, Bri, if anything, and who should people play?
Tampa Bay is favored by 5.5, I believe. They're at home, and Tampa Bay is coming off a loss to the Saints, so they kind of need this game badly. I'd say they'll be desperate.
Steve Hellwagen says the following: I think people are counting us out way too early for next year. We could have a great year. You're making too many assumptions. No, I'm not making assumptions. What I'm doing is what I did last year, which is I don't think people should get pumped up and then you get all over the head coach when it doesn't happen. I think it's fair to look at it and go, hey, look, you got to add 10 guys out of the portal to be pretty good on defense. Because if you take what you have right now and you walk out there and try and play next year and try to play this scheme, it's going to be pretty rough. And as Matt said, they're going to have to spend some money in the portal. Now, they have a couple positions that are already covered. That end deal, that athletic rush end Leo/Jack deal, I think that's right. They've got that covered. You need 2 safeties at a minimum, probably 3, if you're going to play 3 high, because I don't know who else you're going to put on the field. No offense. You're going to need some help at linebacker. The Prelati guy, I think, might flourish in this scheme. He might flourish in this guy's scheme. Who's going to be your bandit? Who's going to be your bandit? And what is a bandit? Are we talking like the Tampa Bay Bandits, like Wayman Buggs and Eric Trevelyan, John Reeves back in the day? I mean, what is your bandit? Skull Bandit? Who was the Skull Bandit, y'all? Don the Snake Prudhomme? Was he? Let's go to the phones. Before I do, portions presented by our friends at VIP Play. $20 your first bet. You get $100 in bonus bets. And my boy down in Dallas evoked their name earlier, and that's, I give him love for that. Had some great phone calls today. Had some great phone calls on the show today. And Joshy boy, I love you being under wing. Extremely positive. Very, very bright-eyed right now. You're firing me up. You're focusing me, and you're preparing me. The promo code and the phrase that pays is TN Tony. over at VIP Play, T and Tony. Live always, 200-plus leagues, numerous bet types, props, options. I'm going to do a same gamer tonight with my Flyers. I hit the other night. Well, no, I didn't, because Michkov didn't score and it urinated me off. But I'm probably going to play the Golden Knights in case you're interested. I'm pretty hot in hockey. But who knows? Maybe tonight's game goes to overtime and my Flyers can get a loser point. You don't care about that. Gambling problem, 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. And one thing about me, you're always going to get kind of where I'm at. And we got sort of led astray on this guy at Washington. And I'm kind of glad. I like this Noles hire. I like it more than I would have liked the guy at Washington, Matt, personally. What do you think? The guy at Washington or this guy? What do you got, Matt? What happened to Matt here?
Yo, I lost you.
Yeah, Matt. We lost you, Matt. Oh, you lost me? All right, let's go back to the phones. We had a little blip there. Blip in the mission. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Basilio, what's going on?
Yo, what's up?
Hey, let me give you one name that I kind of heard out of the portal.
All right.
Is safety Jalen McLean from Ohio State. He started out every game this year and played in every game last year. They didn't recruit his brother, KJ, who actually signed with Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And they would have 2 years to play together. So the scuttlebutt is they want to play together.
Matt, the McLean brothers, would you sign off on that? The McLean kid from Ohio State joining the Vols. TGMD, where are you? What happened? The McLean kid, Matt, Josh is saying here, he's hearing the safety from Ohio State. There's a possibility of him in the Vols. Matt, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, if you can get somebody that's at least played in this system before, you can go after him.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him or his relationship with Noles, but anybody with prior experience in this scheme would be a plus if they can play.
Big Josh,
I think it's less Noles and more playing with his brother. I don't think
here. Yes.
Hiring Noles would have been the deal maker. I think getting to play with his brother, who Ohio State didn't offer.
Noles is going to want guys that kind of fit him. What do you think of the hire?
I like it a lot better than Walters. I didn't want anybody that played at Oklahoma and had all or was in the wedding or none of that stuff. I think they need somebody who's a little abrasive and does know it all and demands a little accountability from the players and these assistant coaches. They're too damn comfortable over there. And we can sit on here now and talk about patience, but there's going to be no damn patience, Tony. You can't lose 3 games at home and lose to Vanderbilt and then roll in there next year and lose a bunch of home games.
Well, you got to be patient.
There's going to be no patience.
You got to be patient, Josh. This
year 6. The damn patience is gone.
Josh, this guy's defense.
I don't care.
Well, I didn't do it, Josh. It takes a couple years.
I didn't do it either.
Well, it takes.
I didn't do it either.
It takes a couple years.
They did it.
It takes a couple years to take hold.
Well, I hope it works out. I don't see how it could be any worse. If they improve a little bit and he gets a quarterback, they'll score points. So
TGMD.
That hitter kid at Memphis that we barely missed on?
Yes.
Once he signs, is that over and final, or can they transfer?
You can, in a situation like this, you can get out of that.
I think we really need a dynamic running back, Tony.
Yeah,
that's what this offense is missing.
Yes, he means Michigan. I know what he's talking about. The hitter kid. Yeah, the running back.
Yeah, Michigan. I may have said that wrong.
Hey, Matt, would you go hardcore after that hitter kid, or do you think we're fine there and should focus elsewhere?
I mean, he'd be a good addition if you can get him. If he would want to come, I don't know what his his price tag would be. With all this, we talk about the budgets and roster. Right. You've got to find some spots on your team where you can be kind of budget friendly, where you don't have to pay a bunch and still get results. And and running back is really one of those where it's been plug and play with a couple of 3-star guys that you've turned into middle round NFL draft picks.
Yes,
and with Deshaun Bishop being a walk on, like that's an area where you can kind of go a little bit on the cheaper side and still get the results. Now, I don't know if that's the right approach, but when we talk about the money aspect of all this, you have to have value somewhere on your roster, and that seems to be one of them.
And we know that kid's name is Hyder, by the way, but I like calling him Hitter. I was calling him that during recruiting, and Josh is doing it too. So people on YouTube telling us how to pronounce this. I think we know how to pronounce a 5-star running back's name. Thank you very little that we lost out to Michigan and finished second for. But listen, all's fair in love and war. It's a shame what happened up there at Michigan. I would go after anybody on their roster right now and pick them apart till they get a coach.
Yeah, I don't know if it would. They're all in on that Georgia's kid down there. I guess Baylor or wherever, Macau, wherever he's at.
Boy, he looks like a scary prospect, man. The Canadian
yeah,
kid.
He looks really good. That may mess that up. I don't know. Woo! But hey, Tony, this Notre Dame deal. I kind of hope all that goes sideways. I want people raising hell in this college football. I want to see DC and a bunch of idiots up there get involved. I'd like to see some antitrust lawyers show up in Hoover, Alabama, and Indianapolis, and just rain all over those two idiots' parade and bust this thing up. And maybe we could get some geography
contracts
back in line.
And
You already heard
geography.
Saban; he's starting on it.
Saban needs to be commissioner. I'm truly convinced that Nick Saban would be a great voice of the sport and might be able to bring everybody together. Of course, the guy at the SEC and small Petiti up there at the Big Ten, I don't think would cede to Saban, but we need one voice, a unifying voice in this deal. We really do.
Yeah, but the D.C. crowd would listen to Saban. And, Tony, I mean, they're monopolizing the sport. They're soaking up everything. They need to put an end to this. It's ridiculous. But anyway.
You're my man.
Y'all hang in there. See ya.
Much love. Much love. Matt, earlier, our guest said that he thinks one of the guys he thinks one of the guys Michigan might wait on is the Alabama coach if they get bounced from the playoff. Do you think that guy would leave Alabama, thus destabilizing the league a little bit more?
I think there's a chance of it. I don't know how high it is. Like I'm not sure he loves living down there, and how could you in his spot? It would have been interesting had they lost the Iron Bowl or just not made the playoffs if him and Penn State would have gotten serious.
Yeah.
Michigan would be a little bit higher, even a bigger step up than Penn State, and could be a nice jumping off point if he wanted to do that. I mean, I've dismissed it probably more than I probably should, because I think that if he's wanting to get out, that would be a great landing spot. And with the portal not opening till January, Michigan can afford to kind of wait until, especially if they were to lose their first game.
What's going to be really wild is to see what Matt Campbell, who had zero budget at Iowa State, they're going to have millions and millions of dollars in the portal to spend. Millions and millions. Be really interesting because they signed 7 guys in their freshman class. So they got tons of money to throw around here. The other thing I'm looking for coming up here are the bowl opt-outs. I think Tennessee's going to have 3 or 4 at least. And then who from the Vols matriculates into the portal over the next few weeks? And how many of those guys? And that's going to start occurring as well. You're going to start hearing names even before the portal happens. So-and-so's decided, that sort of thing. jumping into the portal. You'll start seeing guys move in, and it'll be interesting. And then the other piece that we're going to track, obviously, is watching this guy. Does he retain the entire staff? Because I do think they're willing to give autonomy to whomever. Talking to people, there's not a deal where you got to take this job and everybody's got to stay. I don't think that's how they've approached this. You think the guy keeps the whole staff, Matt? Because he did it at Ohio State, basically, and he did it at Penn State. Does he keep the whole staff, Matt?
I think he'd be pretty open to that because it doesn't sound like he doesn't have necessarily a big coaching tree under him that. Yeah. Especially of loyal guys who have followed him around. I think you'll probably keep most of them. Yeah, we'll see. You just don't know how any of them gel with what he wants to teach. I think he's a linebackers coach, like specifically, like what does he do with ends? Like, who knows? Obviously Ronnie Garner could retire or whatever. Willie Moe we've talked about. He could, I guess you even said he could stay on like one of these off-field roles that there's just unlimited amounts of now. But no, it'll be interesting to see. You've got to kind of stir some of that stuff up over the next week or two, and then attack the portal for whatever needs he thinks that this defense has.
Back to the phones we go. Wow, how about that? Right on time. Am I Medicina? How about me? I'm fired up, focused, and prepared today. My synapses are firing on all cylinders here. All cylinders here. What are you showing me? I'm watching. What are you showing me here? The what now? You got a clip? Oh, nice. Let's go back to the phones at 865-200-5402. Laura's upstairs clipping the show. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
How you doing, Tony?
Hey, Billy. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. How old is this Noles? 61?
61.
I'll tell you what, that's not old, Tony. He's 61 years young, and I'm older than him, and I'm 72 years young. I like the hire.
Yeah, good, Bill. Yeah, 61 is the new 30. That's what I say.
Yeah. And on the nut, from what else I heard, that also Michigan is interested in getting Clark Lee. I would say if Michigan offered Clark Lee a lot of money, I would have to say take the job.
Where did you hear Michigan? Where did you hear Michigan and Clark Lee?
On the Dan Patrick Show.
Matt, do you think there's any validity to that Michigan would be interested in Clark Lee?
Yeah, I can see it. It makes sense from a fit perspective. I think he might have even interviewed with Penn State. We'll see. So much of what he did at Vandy is centered around Pavia, and their defense hasn't really been very good under him, and that's what his specialty. He brought in a really good DC this year who improved him, especially against us. But it could be a jumping off point for him to Michigan. I think he's pretty locked in at Vandy and no reason to leave. But Michigan could be enticing. I just think Michigan's got to go after a quarterback, like an offensive guy with Bryce Underwood. You've got this 2-year window with him where you can compete for the playoffs and potentially, further if you have everything around him. So I think they have to go with an offensive guy, kind of a quarterback specialty to try to get the most out of Underwood because they're paying him. What is it, like $8 or $9 million?
There could be several of those players on the Michigan football team that's liable to abandon ship, and one of them could be Bryce Underwood. If that's the case, I would have to say Josh Heupel, go after him.
Well, thank you, Bill. That's certainly BEAGGRESSIVE, Yeah, you're right, sweetie. It's 3.
In any way, Tony, they're going to be playing Texas. And it would not surprise me that the Longhorns will tear their kingdom down.
I don't think we have to worry about Michigan's interim coach having an affair with the staffer.
Can you imagine you're a Texas fan, Matt, and you're getting ready for that game, and it's a total farce now? I mean, it's a farce anyway, right?
The only thing better would be Sarkisian leaving for an NFL job right 3 days before it.
Hey, Billy.
Make a total mockery of it.
Billy, are your guys going to hire Sark?
So, Tony, you still believe that the Titans that Scarsazian will be the next
Scarsazian?
Bill,
I'll tell you this. I believe the Titans, if there was a toilet in the NFL, okay, they're the one that got roughed up on a Saturday night. It looks like the toilet at Taco Bell back in the day down on Cumberland Avenue. Okay? About 2 o'clock in the morning. And I say that while I eat my lunch.
Well, they were very lucky to beat Cleveland, and it would not be one bit surprised they'll lose to San Francisco this coming Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You still there, Tony?
I'm listening to every word you say.
Would you rather have Steve Sarkisian or Steve Sarkisian or Scarsazian?
And by the you cracking on Titans, Bill, bro? Now we back to this again, cheap shot artist. Is that what we're doing here? Why is that man taking a cheap shot at you, Bill?
Yeah, well, what else is new? He's always taking pot. Brian Hartman is always taking pot shots at me. So what else is new? You know, and another thing, Tony, don't be surprised if Illinois beats Tennessee because, look, Brent Bielema is no stranger to the Southeastern Conference.
Bill, what did you say?
I would not be one bit surprised if Illinois beats.
That's what I thought you said. We're going to go back to our phones.
And he's out of here.
I don't mind dissenting opinions, but you got to be a nut. Dr. Z is on fire over here, DDS. He said, I heard Moore is now running for office. And by the way, Bill mispronounced that word on purpose. Zach Mania says Tony's letting Bill close the show out. No, Laura just told me my appointment's later. So I actually have time to spend with you bozos. You bodos. And McCarter over here is asking me, why are you eating? If can Noles help Matt for the bowl game in any capacity? Sure he can. I mean, if he wants to.
I mean, I'm not sure what he could do because it's. I mean, yeah, he can be there and start. It gives him a good evaluation of guys to see players and kind of understand what Tennessee's scheme was supposed to be these past couple of years. So he has a better idea when he watches film of trying to figure out what we did well, which is really takes the X's and O's genius to do that with how poorly coached they appeared.
If you have a doctor's appointment, Tony, why are you eating right now? I'm hungry. I'm not getting blood work done. Matt, the eating on the air bet, what do you think of it? Because I have people tell me when I listen back to the podcast, the chewing, I've tried to mute the chewing now in your ear because they say it's very loud when I listen in headphones. And I don't want to do that. You know, I don't want to be that guy that chews in your ear.
Yeah, that's a bad look. I guess bad sound.
Bad sound.
But it's a good bit to do. You do it every day. You eat the same thing every day.
Yes.
Kind of your hat tip to Nick Saban there, which I appreciate the subtlety in it. Mm-hmm. So maybe Saban can get the Michigan job. So yeah, I mean that's an awful situation.
Hey,
I know we can make some. And it got really sad and depressing when you found out what happened to the Moore guy after he got fired. But really, I mean, if you look at it just from a football perspective, that might be the best thing that could happen to Michigan because he wasn't a great coach. They obviously just kind of had to give him that job with all the scandal stuff going on. But now they can go out and get, they can upgrade big time at head coaches. It sucks that it happened the way it did for Moore's sake. And hopefully, I guess Jim Harbaugh can throw the guy a lifeline and get him at some job out there in San Diego.
Yeah.
But
when they get him out of jail.
That's one of the premier jobs of the sport that opens up after all the others have been filled.
Do you think Butch Jones told his Arkansas State team that the reason I'm not a candidate at Michigan is because you guys suck?
What a great line!
Absolutely. I wonder if is Brady Hoke all caps texting Ward Manuel now.
Did Philip Fulmer come out and say somewhere that he's not a candidate at Michigan like he did that one time?
Jeff Harrison reporting Chip Kelly's interviewed at Georgia Tech for their OC. Chip Kelly's a very good offensive coordinator in college. No doubt about that. Kind of a dipshit person. Total zero in the NFL. They have zero respect for him. He took like a bad Raider situation and made it worse. They were dreadful. I had my man CC Hoops over here one night, a couple weeks back, watching that. I guess they were on a Thursday night. Is that right, Brian, or was it a Monday night game? Right after they fired him right after that. They were unfreaking watchable. They were so bad on offense. Back to our
the NFL likes to show off those new stadiums, and so they put the Vegas and they put the Rams on whenever they can.
Yep.
And San Diego, or Los Angeles SoFi, whenever they can in a prime time spot. And the teams usually don't deserve that.
The real Mr. Tubbs says, he's reminding me here that Wade Boggs ate a chicken sandwich every day for his entire career, to which I reply, yeah, and I kind of fashion myself as a Hall of Fame level 380 hitter at radio. Or 6'7", me, Wade Boggs, Nick Saban, 6'7", 6'7", 6'7". Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, it's Zach in Easttown. What's up, my man?
There he is. Zach thought I was going to abandon him.
No, I was actually, Bill changed the whole nature of the show and my question that I have for you. But going back to the Wade Boggs thing,
yep.
If you ate chicken sandwich every day, you'd probably have to include 6 or 7 Dos Equis if you really wanted to get on Wade Boggs.
There's no doubt. Back in those days, they used to keep coolers of beer up the tunnel. Yep, coolers of beer.
It's a way to cool off after the game. And Tony, just real quick.
Yep.
I'm going to watch baseball this year, but only under protest because they're dissing my man Dale Murphy. And I think I know why it is. I'm not going to say it on the radio because maybe I'll tell you one day. But Titans Bill had a good point. If there was a guy named Steve Sarkisian,
yes,
I think the Titans would hire him just because they don't know what in the hell they're doing and who they're hiring or firing. It's really
Carsasian.
Carsasian.
Yes, Carsasian. They would probably, what's her name? Guy's daughter.
Who's the
Amy
guy?
Adams Strunk.
Yes, Amy Adams Strunk.
Yeah, Adams Strunk. Yeah, let's hire that guy because I heard he was good at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But all shots against the Titans aside, I'm almost in agreement with Bill that Lee would do himself a good job to take a Michigan position if he could and lock that down. Bobby is
if I were him,
that's a one.
Yeah, if I were him, I'd get out of there. If I were him and I had a chance to get the Michigan job, which is what is that, guys? Top 5 job in the sport?
Yeah, easily.
Definitely top 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're all so compacted now that it's one of those top 10 jobs, and
yes,
you can make cases for any of them. But it's one of the premier jobs of the sport.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
So I would leverage that and do that right now if I were him, and I would encourage him to do so.
Yes.
As far as the Vols go, and then I want to ask you a question about Tuesday. Or let me just ask you a quick question about Tuesday. Where we're playing Syracuse, I got some time off supposed to be working till 5 that day.
You mean Louisville?
We're going to the game.
Louisville.
We're going to that game. Yeah, Louisville. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Are you guys doing a show from? Are you doing anything down at? Are you doing anything down at? What's the name of the place on the river? Calhoun.
What's the date on Tuesday? What day is Tuesday? Is that?
I think it's the
23rd.
The 16th.
Oh, the 16th. No, I'm not planning on being anywhere. No, I'm not going to be out. We're going to be here doing the post game, though.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we can get out. It's not a bad idea, man, because people will be off for Christmas. Maybe I can talk to the Calhoun's people, see if we can get down there on a Tuesday. Matt, would you come out and do it with me?
Yeah. If you want to,
I'd love to meet you guys in person.
Like a holiday cheer kind of show for people that are in town for Christmas. Not a bad idea because last Christmas I gave you my heart.
The very next day you gave it away. Anyways, Tony, I hope you have a good weekend. On my way out, my question to you is:
let me ask you a
now
question.
That
what is your least favorite Christmas song that you just said, man, that's awful? It sounds like they spent 2 minutes on it. I'll give you mine if you give me yours.
2 minutes on?
It sounds like they just made it in the studio, in 5 seconds.
Anything that they put George Michael on is
no,
terrible.
That's a great song. That's a really good Christmas song.
Oh, my God. Tony, most of the songs I end up really loving, even like Elvis Blue Christmas. I love McCartney.
I think you're right. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time is awful.
That is a bad one. That is really bad.
Awful.
Yeah.
This
Not a
is
huge fan
simply a terrible Christmas song.
Simply having all that great stuff McCartney wrote, and that was his Christmas song.
Yeah. Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew.
So bad.
What a genius. You don't like that?
Oh, it's the worst. That's my least favorite Christmas song ever.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. There's where we differ.
But we're different.
I don't know. I used to hate my dad always made fun of the Elvis Blue Christmas, but that made me love it.
Oh, I love it. We played that Saturday. People love that. If you can get somebody to really sing it, and our singer can really sing it, and I come behind her and I do the F chord arpeggio, which is what they're singing. The other one that I really love, which was recorded in Nashville, which is by a Tennessee singer, is the Brenda Lee song, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, the rockabilly tune. That's a great song. Great song.
And that's that's an incredible. We talking about the guitar-driven song?
Oh my God, do you not love that?
I mean, I'm not sure who played that.
That's a masterpiece.
I'm not sure who played.
I don't know either. That's great. So well done.
It's got incredible tone.
Oh, everything. Everything.
It's got the Christmas chords. See, this is the kind of stuff that I'd like to hang with you guys in person and meet you so we can talk some music.
Everything tasty. It's so tasty, man. It's so tasty you could eat it. And she's only 19 years old. She's still alive. She's only 19 years old when she did that, man.
Oh, gosh. She's still alive?
She's alive, brah. Brenda
I wonder
Lee
if Bill
is alive.
has any info on her.
No, I bet she's in Bill. So, anyways, Zach, go ahead, Zach.
Yeah. Hey, so on the defense.
Yes.
Since our man Jermod is gone.
Yes.
And is our other guy gone too? Our other DB that was not available for most of the year. What was? I'm having radio.
Ricky Gibson.
Yeah, Ricky. Is he gone too, Matt?
No, he's back.
No.
But they're gonna have to pay him.
Probably more likely coming back.
Yeah, he's back. I mean, he's
Colton Hood. I think is going to be gone.
Hood is gone. Hood got another first-round grade the other day, Matt, which is good.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah, really good.
Good for Hood. It's good in the hood.
It's all good for Colton Hood.
Good in the hood.
So, I mean, where? I'll take this off the air because I know you want to go. Well, you maybe already talked about it. Who and maybe that's what you're talking about with the what is it the adjuster? Is that what we used to call like the Mike linebacker? Is that now the adjuster?
No, the adjuster is the safety. He's the safety that sets the defense.
So that's what we need. I mean, and that's what I was going to ask you. Where is that? Is that where you would start in putting together 2 or 3, Fred White types, and who do you have left? Like, if you could get like one or two guys and one or two positions, and I'll talk to you Tuesday on the way, or
I hope we
after
can
the
get
game.
out there. It's a good idea. I hope we can do something. I'm gonna call Brad and see if we can do something. You know, Matt, who would have been a good adjuster down through the years? Eric Berry would have been a hell of an adjuster.
Yeah, Eric Berry could have played anywhere and been really good. But yeah, Eric Berry's probably kind of like the Caleb Downs, kind of just a unicorn deal.
Yep.
That you can't go out and find guys like that, especially. I'm trying to think.
Caleb Downs is from Alabama, right?
Got to be like the quarterback of your defense. Like Todd Kelly Jr. before the injuries I thought was going to be a really good college player.
Great.
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Shout out TK Jr. who's out there listening. By the way, Josh
Brian Randolph, maybe. I mean, we haven't had good safety plays since Eric Berry's the last safety we've had drafted into the NFL.
You got to be kidding, right?
We've gone on 15 years without having high-end safety play. So it's hard to have an adjuster back there that, you know.
We ought to go like to one of the local grade schools and get one of those safeties. Matt, were you a
George
safety?
Quarles can develop one at Webb for us.
Were you a safety in your day, Matt?
I was more of a corner. I had really, really fluid hips.
No, I mean a safety in school. A safety.
Oh, yeah. We took the D.C. trip.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I was a
don't
safety.
know if do they even still do that?
I don't know, because where I grew up, when you were a safety, you got to go to a couple Phillies games a year on a Friday night. They fired up the school bus.
Was that a reward? Did you do crowd control stuff there or what?
No, we were at the top of Vet Stadium. I was in 8th grade, and I was up there with some degenerates from 8th grade. We were smoking cigarettes, and we were throwing pieces of pizza off the top of the stadium at people on the outside of the old Vet Stadium. Anything went in the 700 level. People were up there smoking dope. I mean, the stadium was so big. I've thought about doing a podcast, getting people from Philadelphia and like asking people to tell Vet Stadium stories. How funny do you think that would be, Matt? Some Vet Stadium stories, because I'm telling you, anything.
People would have to use fake names when they called in.
Oh, anything and everything went in the Vet Stadium, the top of the stadium.
It'd make a day-to-day story about the license plate switch seem like a small deal.
Put it this way, Brian, it was a good place to learn about the birds and the bees. So Josh Carter asks the following. I want you guys' thoughts on this. It's a $9.99 super chat, so let's spend a second on it. More likely than not, Michigan falls back in the Big Ten. They hired Rich Rod and Brady Hoke, Sharon Moore, and then Harbaugh in between. They'll get this hire wrong again. Matt, what say you on that? Because I think it's a different era.
Oh, it's a different era, but it's the same people making the hire, especially if Ward Manuel is still AD there. No, they've struggled to find guys. And, I mean, let's not forget, Harbaugh's a Michigan guy. It took him until like year 6 to really get that thing going. I'm not sure he would have that time anymore.
Yep.
To turn that around. They obviously had to bring in Connor Stallions to kind of really get that thing going, but it
got
took
it going with questionable
years.
means for sure.
Ross Johnson asks, if we bring a portal quarterback in, McIntyre goes to the portal? Is that what's going to happen? No, I don't think so. I think the 2 young quarterbacks know the score. I think Tennessee's communicated that with them. I think that George McIntyre is still a little too slim to take the he's going to take a while to grow into his body. Look, I think George McIntyre's got a chance to be a really nice player. And the thing about Faison Brandon is, as we've seen with these 5-star guys, who knows? You know? Who knows with the 5-star guys? It could go either way. Some would say it could be, Brian, 6, 7. I mean, you just don't know. All right, let's go back to the phones. The sport is so interesting. That's the bottom line. All this flux. What happened to Michigan yesterday is not interesting. That that is heartbreaking. That almost was that would have been, if he would have gone through with that, would have been the worst tragedy maybe in the history of American sports. What a dark day that would have been for American sports if that guy would have gone through with that. Thank God he didn't. I hope he can get some help and we can get some healing there. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on our overtime.
Appreciate you saying that about the situation, Tony. Think about the wife. Think about 3 little girls. Jeez Louise. I mean, even not going through with it, but the what they're having to live through right now is it's a shame. It's sad. And hope everybody gets help in that situation.
Amen, brother. Amen. And
yeah,
like our Ohio State guest said today, you get your name splashed across the headlines. Everybody's Googling his wife's photo now. And how do you keep your kids out of that? And your life has changed forever. And if the guy would have killed himself yesterday, they would have been without a daddy.
Yep. And hey, I've seen jokes. I'll probably be childish and made a stupid joke. I don't know, but if you sit back and reflect, it's not a joking matter. It's really, really sad.
Mm-mm.
But hey, let's talk some sports. Were we delusional about Joey Aguilar? Was I mistaken, or did he end up being like, top 5, 6 SEC quarterbacks on an offense that was probably led the SEC, maybe right behind Vandy in overall offense, and was definitely an offense that if your defense would have finished in the top, 40 of the country, you would have comfortably been in the playoffs? Were we delusional about that guy?
I wasn't.
Did we get? Was he about what some of us thought he would be? Played very well in Josh Heupel's offense.
Yeah, it's. I thought he was excellent this year. I tell you this. Hey Matt, if you could get a level of quarterback the likes of him out of the portal, you've done a nice job, I think.
Yes. Yeah, he was about as good as you could have hoped for, realistically. Obviously had the flaws coming in that got to him in the Oklahoma game, especially. But no, he was. It's hard to ask for more than what he did. He was really good and got ready in a short time and really kind of saved your season, because you were going to go 5-7 if he didn't come on campus.
The thing about this Columbus character that you reference there with your comment is that
I didn't know I was. I didn't know I was representing.
Interesting. He also turns around and then wants to overlook the fact that the quarterback that he had winning the Heisman Trophy had a bad game the other day. But our guy's not allowed to have a bad game. If our guy has a bad game, you're delusional.
Hey, you're talking about the guy that it said the end of the Georgia game went down the way it did, and we settled for a field goal because Josh Heupel was scared of his quarterback. And that's why we handled that last possession that way. That's the guy you're talking about. Not the fact that the right move was to milk the clock down to almost nothing and kick a game-winning chip shot field goal. It was because Josh was scared of his quarterback, who had thrown 4 touchdowns at that point in the ball game and lit up Kirby Smart's defense. That's the football breakdown we're getting from that guy.
It's expert stuff, man.
Also, we were delusional as a fan base when we went up to Columbus last year, because I could have sworn I heard a guy on your show preaching about how that team that lost to Michigan was in disarray and Tennessee was going up there and winning for the 2 weeks leading up to that game. Did I get that wrong? Were we the delusional ones, or were we being fed information from the Columbus connections that they were in disarray and we were going to go win?
I can't remember that, because I can't remember what I had for breakfast.
I can. It happened.
Yeah, he was very positive, more than he usually is. I'll say that.
Really?
About our chances up there, yes.
Oh, he was.
Rusty's right about that.
He was peacocking with his chest out that they were in disarray, that Day was getting fired and that it was all getting blown up there, and we were going up there to put the final nail in the coffin. Check the archives.
Wow.
So anyway, I was good with Walters. I was good with Batoon. I was good with Benedetto. Did not like the idea of going and getting the co-DC at Georgia or any of that. I think we went out and got a damn good hire. It may take a little while. All you got to do with Josh Heupel is get in the 30s overall in defense, and it doesn't seem like that's that big a stretch even for this guy year one to just have that kind of decent year if you go out in the portal and get the right guys. And I heard the same thing you've heard, which is we're about to go spin like drunken sailors like the LSU Tigers did last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this guy's feeling the pressure, man, on the heels of that Vanderbilt game, and he should. He should feel the pressure.
Yep. Hey, buddy, love you.
Thanks. Love.
Our house is in disarray. We're packing up, man. We are getting on the road in less than 7 days, man.
Wow. Are you driving across?
Yeah. We're driving tandem, one car behind the other, going through Tombstone, El Paso, San Antonio, going to swing by Biloxi and stay a night and goof off, and then on into back into the great state of Tennessee. So it's going to be a fun time. We're getting back on Christmas Eve morning, so we're going to take our time.
Oh, what a gift! Good talking to you, brother. Thank you. Zach Mania said Columbus told us to buy tickets and ride up. Did he really do that, Brian? I don't remember that. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
He was more positive than he usually was. It sort of was. I was kind of taken aback by it because he usually isn't like that. But he really was cheapy on our chances. Yes, he was.
Hey, Greg, welcome in. How you doing, buddy?
A lot of us were.
Yep.
That Michigan loss really gave folks a false sense of security.
Sure it did.
Well, it lit a fire under that Ohio State team is what it did. I mean, they blew Oregon out worse than they did us the next week in the Rose Bowl.
An Oregon team that absolutely trashed
was 13-0 and the number one seed.
Yes, and trashed them in the regular season, right?
Yes.
Trashed them.
Well, they beat them, yes.
Yeah.
Hope everybody's doing good today.
Greg, I'm fired up, focus, and repair with my head down.
I heard that, my friend. Hey, a couple calls ago, you were talking about Christmas music. I like all the traditional stuff. A friend of mine, his name is Mackie Kaylor, Kaylor. He's a Christian artist, been recording, writing for a long time, and he and Larry Gatlin are good buddies. And
oh, wow.
Back several years ago, they recorded a song together called They Saw a King. And everybody should look that song up and listen to it.
Matthew Taylor and Larry Gatlin? So
Mackie Taylor.
Mackie Taylor. Okay. Great name. Wow. Where's Mackie from?
He lives here in Columbia, but I'm not sure exactly where he's from.
He's obviously very good if he got near Larry Gatlin, because you got to be a damn good musician to get around a guy like that.
Yeah, they both. Hey, you know how Gatlin sings?
Oh yeah.
Well, Mackie's got a voice that will blow your mind. I mean, he's a great dude. But anyway, I wanted to mention that song because when I was in radio, I played that song a lot during the Christmas holidays, and I just loved it when I first heard it. Fantastic written song. I mean, it's great. Y'all should listen to it. But anyway.
What's it called again, Greg?
They Saw a King.
They Saw a King. Was that a song that Mackie wrote?
He wrote it, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think, in my opinion, anybody that listens to it will put it on their list because, I mean, it brings chills to me every time I hear it. I mean, it's great.
Thank you for sharing.
And the music in it's real good, too. But
what's your least favorite Christmas song, Greg? When you hear it, you have mega heat with it. Mine is Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time. I have mega heat with that song.
I don't know if I've got one except Grandma got run over by
Now
a
that
reindeer.
is some shit. No offense to Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. That's an awful song. That's the kind of stuff Matt Dixon listens to.
This'll Hair the Christmas Bear is pretty bad.
Oh, boy.
The hell it is.
See?
But
I
I
told
was,
you. I told you Matt's got all these awful songs on his playlist.
I was thinking about Tennessee's quarterback position, and I know you talked about it a few minutes ago. I think what they should do, they've got a great kid in McIntyre, but they got a fantastic guy. What I read about Brandon, 6'4", 200-something pounder, and he's a beast at a quarterback position. They need to prepare who they've got. Look what Kirby Smart did with his quarterback. Look what DeBoer did with his Alabama quarterback. I mean, going after guys in the portal when you got two guys like that on your team, that's going to piss off somebody.
Kirby had
you don't want to do that.
Kirby had a portal quarterback, though, the kid with the hairline that ended up at Miami. Wasn't he from the portal, Matt? Or am I imagining things?
No.
Oh, he was there.
He signed with Georgia and was there 3 or 4 years.
Thank you. Well, look, here's the thing, though. Georgia has them stacked and packed. I mean, Georgia had Tony Eason's son, for crying out loud. Georgia gets them all. Who was the kid from USC that Georgia got? They brought in a transfer several years ago.
Daniels? Daniels.
Thank you. And they ended up playing the guy that can't ride half the rides at Dollyweird, who's now on the Rams roster.
And they got a guy from Wake Forest who I think got hurt.
Yeah, that's right, Brian.
Down there.
That's exactly.
Malik Newman or something.
So they do that, Greg. They have used the portal in the past. Kirby has in recent past.
But you got a kid like Brandon,
who's 17 years old, Greg. You're not. Greg,
I
love
feel
you.
Lucky they got him.
Oh, no question. But you're not going to put a 17-year-old on the field in SEC football. I'm for him, not against him, and I love him and I love his show. But yeah, that ain't going to happen.
You know, thing about it is, Tony, he's 6'4", 200-pounder.
Yes.
You got a kid that's played football all his life. It's the game of football. You play it the same, whether it's high school, college, junior high.
Greg.
Whatever.
I
would give him a shot, man.
Greg, when you get hit on an SEC field and you're 17 years old, they're going to sweep you up with a dustpan and brush, bro. That's why they don't do that.
Well, you got to protect him. That's the thing about it. I bet he can run the football good too.
Again, if you run the football, what's going to happen to you?
Score a touchdown.
I love you, Greg. Give me that song one more time because I'm looking that up right now.
Hey, let me.
They saw a king. They saw a king. And Larry Gatlin. Just look up Larry Gatlin. They saw a king. Thank you, Greg. I love you.
Mackie Taylor.
And Mackie Taylor. Thank you, Greg. Love your show. Yeah, Christmas carols, you know. Brian, the Bobby Helms version of Jingle Bell Rock or the Hall & Oates remake, where you going?
Well, I'll stay with Brenda Lee on that one.
No, she did Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Oh,
the Bobby Helms Jingle Bell Rock, which is a rockabilly tune.
I don't really have a favorite there.
Bobby Helms, that's a rockabilly tune. But the other one's got Little G. Smith doing some really cool stuff on guitar for the guitar players out there. The Brenda Lee song from 61, I don't know who the guitar player is. That's got to be one of those session guys in Nashville. But that's some Burton-esque, James Burton type stuff. That's some really cool guitar work. Zach Mania was right. Zach Mania said, I'm a Beatle hater. No, I'm not. I love the Beatles. And I love Paul McCartney. That's why I'm disappointed in that song. It's like when people come at me and they go, man, that song, that show you did the other day. And I'm like, well, come on, man. What are you, a hater? And they're like, no, I love you. You could have done more. And I'm like, if you really love me, you'd let me. I'm sorry, wrong song. Do you boys have any thoughts on the way out? Matt, do you have any thoughts? Bri, do you have any thoughts? Because I'm out of thoughts.
Well, I think Texas shouldn't be so quick to give up on Karsasian. He's a pretty good coach if they'll just give him more time.
No, Brian, you should want the Titans to hire Karsasian. Where are you? Matt, how on brand would it be for the Titans to do something like that, to hire a kind of he's not a mid-college coach. What would we call Sarkisian, Matt, with the money he's playing with and the success they've had at Texas? What would you call him? He's not great. He's not great. He's...
Yeah, somewhere in between great and mid. He certainly does less with more.
Could you say, Matt, if you had two letters that came to mind, could you say 6, 7, 6? Do you do the meme, Matt? Do you like the 6, 7?
No, I wish it'd go away.
When I found out how much it gets on everybody's nerves, I said, you know what? I got to incorporate that into my repertoire. Kind of like Jack. What are the other two, Brian? Let's see if we remember. Jack. Come on, Brian. What are the other two names? Jack.
Oh, Enforcer.
Brian, I'm going to knock you out, Enforcer. It's called Jack the Adjuster, which is your safety
the
that
Leo
calls the plays.
And the safety.
And the Bandit. The Bandit. The Jack, the Adjuster, and the Bandit. And Matt, when I go over there and I bring this our new DC some Philly swag and walk out of there a made man, I will get the names of all the positions from him for you, brother. Are you looking forward to that day?
Yeah, can't wait.
Because I'm
making
that
buddy with Jim Noles.
I'm bringing Jim Noles some pit cells too. I'm bringing in some pit cells. I'm bringing him some Italian cookies, some pit cells. I love each and every one of you. I want to thank you. Tomorrow we're live at the corner 16. We're going to be way out west. Check it in beautiful West Knoxville, Pellissippi Parkway. At North Shore. That's where we gonna be. Check out the blog in the AM. I love you. I appreciate you. Hey, Matt, great job today, man.
Thanks. Enjoyed it as always.
Yep. Exciting day.
Fun
man.
hire. Gives you some excitement going into the offseason.
Absolutely. And Brian Hartman, great job getting that guest, man. Great job getting that guest. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Mark in Columbus.
Oh, the schedule drops tonight. 2026 schedule drops tonight, Alan just said. Is that right? He said he just got the alert. Are we going to have to get on here tonight, Brian?
Well,
Matt,
you are.
Matt, are we
Somebody
getting on
might,
here
but
tonight?
I won't.
Matt, are we getting on here tonight when the schedule drops?
Yeah, if you want to, we can hop on.
Shit. And take some calls and whatnot. All right, love you.
Well, I don't know about taking calls, but we could at least get on.
Go! All right, I'll see who else wants to join us. Peace on the streets, peace in the Middle East, and G to the B to the O. And congratulations to Philly's finest, Jim Noles. Because he's in a Philly mood. I'm telling you right now, I will find a way to that man's heart before it's over. I'll go over there. I'll talk about Vet Stadium in the 70s. I'll have that dude eating out of the palm of my hand. I'll bring up the Koharic era. I'll talk about seeing Roman Gabriel as a little boy and Horace Muhlman, the kicker, and Ovi Johansson, and the days of the white jerseys with the wings on the helmet. Let me tell you right now. Let me tell you something. That guy is going to be locked. I will be his lockdown corner. Of course, we'll be ripping him mid-season, but he doesn't know that. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you. We support you. Shout out to my boy Alan Ward over at WeShipFloors.com. Alan, you weren't listening yesterday, but the gentleman in Jonesboro that you know and love called in and gave you a testimony for the ages. For the ages. And I love each and every one of you. Even some of you guys on the chat that I give a hard time to, I love you all too. I love everybody. But we all get after it here. And again, I own up to the fact that they swerved me. I got swerved. Food, if you will. The food got food. One thing about me, I own it, man. I own it. I own it when I own it. We love you. We appreciate you.